Betty, bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
Everyone!
Okay, welcome to the Zedos Again podcast. I'm Joseph Buchanan. Across from me is Mel Crossey, joining us again, actress extraordinaire and producer, and doer of shows.
I'm enjoying that you called me special.
Yeah.
Special guest.
Yes, you are a
So I
special
went to that
guest.
special school.
Not that kind of special guest, but whatever floats your
If you go
boat.
to special school, it was investment.
I
I look forward to your letters.
know what she means,
Okay.
and it's a give or take term. She's if you get it, you get it. If you anyway, and with me is Sacha Allari. How are you doing, Sach?
I don't know. Where's Sacha? Where's Sacha Allari? I know Sacha Allari.
Okay.
Oh, it's pedantic day.
Okay, so before we go into the main topics, we're going to the trailers that were released this week or last week even. And the first trailer was Star Trek Beyond, or as I call it, Rhiannon music video. And through the tone of my voice, you can tell that I don't like this.
Subtlety is strong with you, isn't it?
Subtlety is strong with this one. I don't really like this trailer. It makes even when Michael Bay does his trailers, I'm fascinated to see. Oh, okay, there's a couple of interesting explosions in that. I want to see that. With this, I can see that Star Trek fans are spinning. They're doing all kinds of acrobatics because of this trailer. I don't like it. It didn't make me want to see it, and that's what I've got to say about it. Mel.
On a positive note, now I'd like to say something positive. I'm not gonna. Is the last trailer I really enjoyed, and it actually really made me want to see the film. I generally like the Star Trek films anyway, but this one was kind of like they took all of the drama out of it to the point of it. You're right, it's kind of just like a music video, not even a good music video, and they've taken away any hint at a real storyline and any of the drama or the character behind it, and just done some really loud music over some things happening that you don't understand.
Yeah.
There's nothing in it that really. I mean, I think we talked about this in the last podcast that I was on. I can't remember what she's called, but the character that's all white in this. Now she looked really cool in the last one, and I really want. And they've just taken away all of the exciting bit about her. You barely see anything that she's doing, and you just don't see anything about the film really. Then here's some pretty actors and a song.
Yeah, there's no plot build up apart from that you know that Kirk wants to be like his father,
which we knew from the beginning of the first Star Trek film anyway. So that's not new. You don't need to be told that. Here's a picture of Chris Hemsworth. I can look at pictures of Chris Hemsworth all day. It's the internet. We don't. Pre-Thor.
Pre-Thor.
Yeah, but Chris Hemsworth's skinny as everybody else bulked up, so
Yeah, true. And Sach.
I loved it. Oh, I'm being serious.
The voice of reason.
Before when you guys were like, do it, I was like, I'm gonna stay quiet. No. I liked it. I've never really been into Star Trek ever until these new ones kind of thing. I've liked the new ones.
the new
the J.J. Abrams ones. Like I never Star Trek's always been there, but I never really used to pay attention to it. Like when I did watch a few episodes, it was like Patrick Stewart's lot, or on that little space station with the black captain, and I saw Rumpelstiltskin in an episode. I was like, what? This is right.
Explain.
What's his name?
I'm intrigued with this black captain.
I think Seth has been watching a different Star Trek.
It wasn't a ship. It was like a space station. Something 9.
Deep Space Nine.
That's the one.
Okay.
Is there a black captain in it?
I never watched Deep Space Nine.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, there's a show. There's a black captain.
I'm pretty sure there is.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I just
I don't know what I'm talking.
Guys, write into the podcast and correct us, please.
Either way, I saw. I'd seen like the odd episode here and there. Star Trek just never appealed to me. I was a Star Wars guy, so I always thought Star Trek was like really boring and I'd fall asleep. But Like, sorry guys, I'm really sorry. I know there's a lot of people staying. It
Patrick
just
Stewart
wasn't
is
for
going
me.
to come and get you, man.
But, you know, like, I totally see what they've been going with, you know, these new movies and stuff, and they've totally gone the other direction to get a bigger audience into Star Trek and stuff. And I felt the past two movies worked for me, being a non-Star Trek fan. The first one I really enjoyed. And I think this trailer is kind of like a reaction in that direction, because they're going for the non-fans. They're trying something different.
Yeah, but I feel like they're going for the non-fans of film. Like, you don't care about the storyline or anything else as long as it's got that. They're not telling you anything about the film.
But at the same time, that's the best thing about it, because...
How is that the best thing about it?
When you look at trailers these days, they show you the whole film in a trailer. This one, I have no clue what's going on.
There's a happy medium, though. Like, you should hint. The whole point of trailers is hinting towards what's going on without telling you the whole thing.
In that rationale, I think the best marketing campaign was the Star Wars trailers. Because they showed no hint of the storylines. They just had John Williams music. They just had, you know, all these new images of all these new characters. You didn't know who they were.
You still knew there was a character. You still knew there was a for the teaser trailers. I agree with you.
Yeah.
All you needed to say, all you needed was the music, and but that's because it's so ingrained in popular culture. Yeah. That's all you needed. But you still need a bit of plot synopsis to get people that have never. No, you did in the third trailer.
Like
you knew the girl was called Ray. You knew that she was looking for something.
They never call her by her name. Right?
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. Do you want me to prove this to you right now?
Yeah, go on.
This is gonna be fun.
Not episode 3, episode 7. Trailer 2.
Top one.
That's trailer 1.
Okay.
Episode 7, trailer 3. So there's a lot of numbers involved here.
That's not it.
My name is
It's an advert.
and I'm
Trolls!
Haha, funny.
Who are you? I'm no one. I was raised to do one thing. But I've got nothing to fight for.
Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish what you started.
This is the second one.
There were stories about
This is the
my
second one.
This is the final trailer. Trailer 3.
Still tells you what's going on, though.
Alright, fair enough. I take it back. But she doesn't mention her name.
Yeah, you were.
This Christmas, really cool lightsaber.
A Jedi.
Excellent bromance.
They're real.
This trailer is more coherent than that Star Trek trailer.
This trailer made me want to watch
Star
this film.
Wars.
It's not even that.
You
I
know
just-
what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know it, without knowing exactly what's going to happen, you know an idea of what storyline they're getting at.
Just let it
I don't know what's going on in that Star Trek trailer. It's
Some people fight, that's all I know.
you see Kirk. I was more like my father. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Explosion. A kick to the face. Aliens.
Which you could guess from just knowing this is a Star Trek film. There's
Are
going to be
we
aliens in it,
recording
and he's
or
going to do it.
Yeah, we're still recording.
We're still recording.
Yeah, I wanted to get that intrigue on there. So when you start gloating, you'll
I'm not
It
glad
does not
though.
mention
You're a
grey,
gloater,
but
man.
it is more as you said, it's more coherent. It tells you a little bit
Yeah.
about what's going on in this film.
And again, that's my problem with the. Again, Karen, why you liked it?
Well, I'm just saying I liked it because, like, you know, they're going for a different audience, and I don't need to know the story.
I see they're going for a younger audience.
Okay, but I don't really need to know the storyline to Star Trek. I just want to know whether it looks okay and whether. So
seriously, you don't need some type of hook to get you in.
That trailer was my hook because I liked the trailer.
But why?
I just said why.
Yeah, but what did you like about it? I don't understand what you liked.
I actually like the soundtrack. Personally.
Okay.
I actually like the song.
There's nothing wrong with having. There's nothing wrong with Rihanna's music, but it didn't do anything for the trailer.
Okay, well, if you'd let me explain what I liked about it without you going, what did you like? What did you like? I liked it. You know what I mean? Like, let me explain a bit more and elaborate on, and then I'll explain. I liked the trailer because of the music. I felt it was cut quite well. I thought, okay, lots of action scenes. Yeah, I didn't get much story, but I don't really want to know the story at this point. I just want to watch a movie and see what that story was. But that's just my point of view. Obviously, I'm in the wrong point of view here, but that's just me. Sometimes I don't want everything shown in the trailer. Sometimes I want to go see the movie and explore what the storyline is myself. I can see quite clearly it's Star Trek. I can see quite clearly there's a Captain Kirk guy going around doing whatever he is, wants to become just like his father or whatever. Maybe that's the storyline. Maybe that's it. But I don't know. I haven't seen the movie.
And that's my point about the trailer. Well, you don't. There's not enough.
But that's enough for me.
Yeah. Okay. But you're not the general audience. You're Sacha. Allari.
I am the general audience.
No, you're Sacha Allari.
No, I'm not.
You're into film.
But I'm not. Because Sacha Allari is right here. By the way, for those listening, for everyone that says my name wrong, I'm not going to respond to it. And you know how I feel about when people mispronounce my name, Joe.
Right, okay, what's the next trailer? Bleed for This.
Moving on quickly.
Bleed for This is the next trailer. This has Miles Teller and Aaron Eckhart. This is a boxing film about a guy who is a boxer and gets hit by a car, can't box anymore. So this looks alright. What do you guys think?
I feel like I've seen this film a million times before. Like, I like Miles Teller and I like Aaron Eckhart as actors. I think they're very good actors. I feel like we've seen every other year, or every year, we see a new boxing movie come out where somebody beats the odds. And they weren't going to win, but they pulled through because they're fighters. And then like the first few, great. Mm-hmm. But now it's a repercussion of the same. So again, it's what I said with Hollywood in general. Once they find something that works, they flog it to death. Mm-hmm. They're flogging it to death. Yeah. Like, I wanted to like this film purely from the actors in it, but I can't see myself spending any money on actively going to watch it because it seems just like a rehashed, slightly different scripted same film that we've already seen a million times before.
Well.
And the trailer's not bad for a trailer.
Yeah,
like it does its job and everything else like that. But I think the actual film doesn't do its job because it's nothing that we haven't seen a million times.
I've seen this film before.
Yeah.
I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And at least Aaron Eckhart is back doing actual films again.
Yeah.
Instead of phoning it in and going for a paycheck.
But no, I should imagine the actors in it are very good as well. They look like they do a good job. Which just makes me feel like they're kind of wasted in this.
Yeah, it does seem that way. But yeah, I guess there you go.
Sounds really me. I don't like seeing the same things rehashed.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Another boxing movie of this year. I mean, didn't we get like 3 from last year?
Oh yeah, there was loads.
I mean, like, you know, the only one that I really liked was Creed, but that's because it's part of the Rocky kind of legacy there.
That's the legacy that comes
so you know that's the big franchise. This is just another dude.
It's been quoted as the first boxing movie since last week.
Yeah. I don't know. Is it based on a real boxer?
Yes, it said it was based on a true story. So as every other film is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I would have liked them to have like kind of like showed more about who the guy was, so I could research it maybe and just go, oh, okay, that guy.
Yeah. Does it even mention his name?
Yeah. Because I don't
think
recall
so.
them even doing that. All I got from that is like, whoa, Miles Teller has been to the gym and he's worked the fuck out. That's all I got. I mean, it's been directed by Ben Younger that did Boiler Room, which I really liked. If you guys haven't seen Boiler Room, really fantastic movie with Ben Affleck and Vin Diesel and the guy that's Phoebe's younger brother and friends.
Giovanni Ribisi.
There we go, that kid.
That's a good film. That's one of the few films that I like with Mr. Potato Head in it.
But I mean, yeah. General consensus with you guys. Yeah.
No.
No. Next.
Yeah, well, it's I don't know when that comes out, but who cares? War Dogs. So this is a film with
Miles Teller.
Miles Teller and
He
the
gets
fat
around that.
the
boy.
fat version of what's his name? Oh gosh.
Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
He's not
it's
that version of Jonah Hill. He's just.
but okay, a few years ago, Jonah Hill
Yeah,
really
then you
slimmed
realise
down.
that nobody found him funny when he was there.
when he loses, it's like a magical power. When he's skinny, he's serious. When he's fat, he's funny.
Except for in... Actually, yeah, he was kind of funny in Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, he's really funny in
Yeah.
that. Scarily funny, but funny. But yeah, so War Dogs. This to me is what's the film with Nicolas Cage?
Which one?
Oh, there are many.
He's done a few.
Where he's an arms dealer. And
Lord of War.
Lord of War, yeah. So this is very much like Lord of War to me. It's got that exact same vibe of.
They're arms dealers and they're selling stuff to the Middle East. Yeah, I could see where you'd get that. I think. I don't know. I think it looks good.
Yeah, no,
I think
it does
looks
look
really
good. It just feels
Yeah,
like
it's
Lord
a
of War.
different kind of... Well, I wouldn't say different kind of tone for Todd Phillips. Todd Phillips is the director. He did the Hangover trilogy, my personal favourite film, Old School, love that film, and Road Trip and Starsky and Hutch. But
Did he do Starsky and
yeah,
Hutch?
he did Starsky and Hutch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tripped over on that one.
Yeah, but he recently did The Big Short. If anyone's seen it, it came out last year for... Well, was it this year? It could have been
It was
earlier.
last year.
Was it last year?
Yeah.
And that one had Christian Bale and Ryan Gosling and stuff. And that was really good, but it was a completely different tone from his usual comedy kind of movies. So I just think he's kind of maturing as a filmmaker, still staying within comedy, but doing more, real life based stuff rather than, an original comedy kind of script.
He's broadening his what's the word, Mel?
Horizons.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
no, I'm intrigued. I want to see it. What do you think, Mel?
I really don't want to watch it.
Oh.
Oh no.
It's been an interesting
Yeah.
bag
We're
today.
doing this today. No, and I'll tell you why. It's because you know what it does. It obviously is the same director as The Hangover. It reminds me of the Hangover movies, but it's exactly the same style, the same sort of silly. It is that, and I like the Hangover movies, but I feel like it's deeply inappropriate for a true story, apparently based on a true story about some arms dealers. They're putting it forward as almost like the guides on a stag party. Wasn't it really funny when we went to Iraq and almost died?
Yeah.
That was hilarious. I
Yeah,
love
so-
that time. Like, it's almost a little bit like it's the wrong subject with the wrong... Like, you can make that subject funny.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's plenty of times when people have taken a piss out of something that is really dark and really close to home and really dangerous, and there's a way of doing it, but this seems almost like they don't understand the danger behind it. They've just found it funny that these young guys have gone over and are dealing arms to people they really shouldn't be and are taking their lives in their hands. And it's... I mean, I love dark comedy. I'm not going to be like, I just don't find this stuff funny because it's supposed to be serious. I'm a great believer in you can take a piss out of most things, but...
Yeah.
it just seems like the wrong tone for this sort of...
Making
you
light
can make a
out
black
something-
comedy of this subject,
Yeah.
but you need a different tone from The Hangover, because one is a silly
Comedy.
stag party. With the subject thing, there's a silly stag party, and then there's arms dealers.
Yeah. There's very
One
much.
is
There's very
light-hearted
little.
in its nature, and the other one is really not.
Yeah. Yeah,
So you
there's
have to
just not
change
much
it
you
up
can
for
make
that,
light
I
of.
guess. That's my opinion anyway. I don't know.
Yeah,
Watch
well,
it if you want it.
No. I'm interested just to see where it goes and what the tone really is like, because as we know, trailers can be deceiving. So I really don't know how to gauge if this is a. I mean, looking at the poster, they've made it out to look like it has. That's comedic font. It's purple font with war dogs in big letters.
It's very light-hearted, kind of. This is a silly romp.
Yeah.
With bombs.
And it's got Jonah Hill firing a gun, laughing with Miles Teller, closing his ears with his hands, his fingers even.
It's also got one, like the trailer has got one hell of a massive stereotype of an Iraqi guy.
Yes, yeah. I'm guessing
I
they're going to...
feel is probably going to piss a lot
Yeah,
of people off.
it looks like they're going to play on that a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe that character
It's
is very
cheap
integral.
comedy, though. Like, he might be, the character itself might be a lot better than it shows
Yeah.
in the trailer, but it looks like a random stereotype, and you're going to end up really upsetting a lot of people.
What,
If it stays the way that it is, just kind of a shallow...
Yeah, just if it just touches
I'd
on
be
that a little
intrigued,
bit.
you know, though. I think I'd probably wait until it came out on DVD or something and watch it then. I wouldn't pay for to see it in the cinema, but...
Yeah, well, Hell's Bells. Well,
Hell's Bells.
I'm from War Dogs.
years, Joe Aldi.
I watch a lot of Mad Men.
Oh, okay.
And so, on to Sully. This is a Tom Hanks film about the pilot that... what happened in the East River? The
Hudson River.
Hudson River, that's the one.
Hudson River.
He landed the plane in the Hudson River, and he's having shell shock ability about it. As
And
you can
people
tell.
are blaming him and saying that he didn't have to.
Really?
That's what it comes up in the trailer. There was some people claim there was no reason why he should have done it. He could have got to the airport or something like that.
Right.
I actually kind of want to watch this film.
Yeah, I want to watch
same
it as
here.
well. I'm intrigued to
Tom
see.
Hanks is always good.
Yeah,
The Eastwood.
oh yeah, it's a Clint Eastwood film, so yeah, it's
Clint Eastwood is always good. So
yeah. I mean,
Except for Space Cowboys.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we just pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So it's fine. We can let him off for one thing. It's Clint Eastwood.
again, another film with Aaron Eckhart in it. He's upping his game. He's doing 2 actual films.
Him and Miles Teller taking over Hollywood.
Yes, I know. My gosh, it's
Replacing all the Australians.
just by looking at the trailer now, we're watching it on silent at the moment. I'm intrigued to see what this is, where this goes, and what more of the story it tells about the actual pilot as opposed to the event. And so, if it does that, there you go, an untold story. So, they're obviously going to go into more of the character of the pilot, of what happened to the pilot after the event. And so, I'm intrigued to know more about the man as opposed to the event. So,
Do you know what makes me kind of want to watch it as well is from the looks of the trailer, it kind of gives me the idea that it hasn't hero worshipped the guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone, okay, so he's a normal pilot that has been put in this situation and he made the decision that he thought was right at that point. And then afterwards, I don't think even sometimes he doesn't seem particularly sure that he made the right decision, and other people are kind of pulling him. It's very human rather than being there's this wonderful guy and he did this wonderful thing and isn't he a hero. It's kind of gone a bit more like, well, he did the best he could and what he thought was the right thing at the time, and maybe it was the right thing and maybe it wasn't. Which is different for American films, because a lot of the time they like to just go, oh my god,
Hero
heroes!
worship.
Yeah.
America saves the world!
Yeah.
Which it doesn't seem to have done so, which is why I quite like it. It seems a little bit different from a lot of the things you
Yeah.
see. I'm intrigued.
Yeah. It's Sach.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to turn out quite good.
Okay.
That's about it. I think I said everything we need to say there. I think I said everything.
And on that bombshell, we move on to the next trailer. And this is Why Him. This stars... what's the guy's name?
Bryan Cranston
Bryan
and
Cranston.
James Franco.
James Franco.
James Franco, incidentally, I find deeply creepy.
Yeah?
That's because he is. To be honest, ever since he did the Oscars,
Oh yeah.
Something about his face just creeps me out. Like, he's a good-looking guy as well, but I would not want to be alone in a room with him. I'm sorry. I'm the bitch today, but yeah, I don't like. Oh no, it creeps me out.
well
Bryan Cranston, however, I love.
yeah, Bryan, he's a charming dude.
And Megan Mullally. It's got Megan Mullally in it. I think that's how you pronounce her surname. She's the mum in this film, and Karen in Will and Grace, if anyone remembers that.
Oh my god, that's why I recognise her from.
She was drunk the entire time and insulting.
How she's so different.
Yeah, no, she's not anything like Karen in real life. This character is probably closer to her normal voice and her normal personality.
Yeah, her voice is normally high pitched, and
yeah, no,
I knew I recognised her face. Where do I recognise her from?
Karen.
Yeah, I find that amazing. It's like, do you know the actress that plays Janice in Friends?
Yeah, again, really normal voice.
Complete. Yeah, it's when I heard her talk, I thought, what?
And a really down to earth, really funny woman. If you see her in interviews, the woman who played, I can't remember her name, it's off the top of my head, but she's really funny and really smart.
Yeah.
And so to see her in interviews, it's so weird because you just picture her as Janice being a stupid, loud-mouthed idiot, and she's very intellectual and very clever. But it makes her a good actor. You don't.
Yeah.
See her. You see the character.
Yeah. That's just true. It's, but yeah, I would never have guessed that was her. Going back to
something new every day, Joe.
Well, going back to the trailer. It was a paint by numbers comedy, really. Bryan Cranston has a daughter. His daughter's the apple of his eye. She meets this bad boy or whatever. He's a total douche. Well, he's a nice douche, and he's an internet billionaire or millionaire. He's an internet millionaire, and he's trying to win over her father's affections. It's not happening. Again, paint by numbers comedy. You could tell what's going to happen in this. It looks amusing.
It looks entertaining enough because of the talent involved. I think that's why I want to see it. Personally.
I want to see it because Bryan Cranston's in it.
And I like James Franco, and be interested to see how their chemistry plays off each other and stuff. And we'll just have to see.
Yeah.
Do you know the only thing that gets me with this film? Like, Bryan Cranston has always been good at. He can pull off the kind of douchey but kind of charming at the same time. Like, you still
definitely.
like him.
Yeah.
Even when he's playing a douche, you still like him.
Yeah.
With James Franco's character in this, I don't see how he's particularly. Like, he is supposed to be somehow lovable at the end of it. Like, the family seems to be falling in love with him, apart from the dad, obviously. But he's supposed to be that kind of charming douchebag thing, but I don't really see it in the trailer. Like, it might be different in the film, I just don't really see it in the trailer. He just seems like a flat-out douchebag.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see why people would like him that much. I kind of just agree
reminds me of my
the
friend
dad.
Jay.
Aw, poor Jay. But yes.
Yeah, but he's very much like that character.
Yeah.
Jay. Yeah, so I don't really have much to say about this other than it's a paint by numbers trailer. Yeah, it's for a particular audience. You'll see. It's again, all these trailers will be in the description, so have a look at them if you would like to, and make your own decision about it. On to the next film, which is Trolls.
Yay!
As you can tell, everyone loves this, and that is not sarcasm. It is actually a very good trailer. It's I couldn't tell you what it's about, but it's got lots of trolls in it, and they
I can tell you what it's about. So Justin Timberlake is a troll called Branch, which I enjoy in itself, and he lives in a bunker because he hates the happiness of everybody around him, including the girl who runs the trolls, commonly known as Anna Kendrick. Anna Kendrick running trolls is
she's
happiness in my head anyway, because she's adorable. And then all of the trolls get kidnapped by some evil, ugly giant thing, and she has to team up with Branch to go and save them.
As well as the cake shitting monster.
Yeah, the cupcake pooping. It wasn't a monster. It was a little friendly animal next to them that gets scared and poops cupcakes, which you then offer to people, which I think is a fabulous idea.
That's brilliant.
And a cloud with legs.
Yeah,
there's a cloud with legs in this trailer, which I enjoy deeply.
I was not ready for that at all. That threw me off, especially when he did the whole gear change thing. That was brilliant.
Yeah. So that's just the kind of silly that I really deeply enjoy.
Yeah, so do I. I love that offbeat kind of silliness that, I mean, I don't think this is going to be everyone's cup of tea, but it looks great. I think it looks
Do you know
fantastic.
what I feel it harks back a little bit to, and I think this is probably why... Sorry, I have the plague. I think this is why we probably like it, is I think it harks back to the kind of cartoons and stuff we had as kids, where it's all a little bit kind of like the people who wrote it were on an acid trip.
Yes.
Because it's all really odd, but really funny at the same time. But nobody really knows what's going on, because why is there a cloud with legs? Like, why has this happened? So, yeah, I think they all took a lot of drugs before they made this film. And I think I feel like people our age will really love it because it makes us nostalgic. But I'm not sure about anybody else.
Yeah. My sentiments exactly. So
I've got nothing more to add. I think you guys just nailed it on the head there.
Well, I didn't say much. I couldn't even record.
I was about to say, like, this looks like someone took a lot of freaking acid.
Exactly.
And another guy was just like putting in the jokes there, and that's what they came up with. No, I liked it. It was very original. To be quite honest, when I heard it was called Trolls, I was like, really? Okay, I'm not really feeling this. But, you know, it was very much a visual kind of humour thing going on there. I like its original take. The bright colours are a little bit there to get used to, but, you know, I'm pretty sure it's going to be really funny for the kids and the adults as well. And that's something that I feel DreamWorks Animations hasn't quite got the right balance, but this looks like they've nailed it. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it's something like Clouding with a Chance of Meatballs kind of style, because that's the only thing that's out there at the moment that I can think comes close, because that film was pretty out there. So
that was genius.
But yeah.
Well, yeah. Is it Lord and Miller that did that?
Yeah, Lord and Miller did that one. So
that I love particularly because the monkey in it is called Steve. And all he says all the time is, Steve! My dad, incidentally, his name is Steve. So every so often I like to phone him up and go, Steve! He has no idea what I'm talking about. He's never watched this film. But it's entertaining nonetheless. Now he will. Watch this film, Father.
That's what you say.
He doesn't listen to my podcast.
You don't know that.
He probably does, actually.
You don't know that. Your dad's very off the cuff. He's not like anyone I've met before, and he always refers to himself as Batman. So.
Because he's Batman.
Yeah, he's totally.
We can go down this line again. He's definitely Batman, Joe.
Totally listening to this podcast.
He is.
Hi, Steve.
Momentarily, he will phone up to tell you that he's Batman because you've never seen him and Batman in the same room.
Okay, well, those are the trailers that were released this week. Again, in the description, have a watch if you want to find out more.
Don't watch Star Trek.
Yeah, don't watch it.
Unless you're sad.
So Tintin, looks like Spielberg and the
late Peter Jackson.
The late Peter Jackson.
Yeah, because he's been dead for so long. Like, I know, like the last film he did was like, what was it?
Peter Jackson's not dead, folks.
Before you all get really
I was coming up with a joke there, but you had to go and ruin it, Joe. I just felt the Hobbit movies were awful, so it's been a long time for Peter Jackson doing anything. What was the last film we did before The Hobbit?
You know what's happened now? He's now George Lucas.
No,
I think
there's only one George Lucas.
No, because he made 3 films that everyone loved, and he made another 3 films that people don't like. He's George Lucas.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Should be a verb now. And George Lucas.
Hey, you George Lucas did. That's what I'm doing to my film. I'm George Lucasing it. Yeah. Tintin looks like it's still alive. Tintin 2, that is still alive. I'm sure it won't be called Tintin 2 because that's really weird. But yeah, the sequel to did it come out in 2010?
They haven't set a release date now.
No, the
The
original.
old one though, that was quite a few years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Because it was Jamie.
Jamie Bell and,
Yeah, but it
Andy
was when he was
Serkis.
still quite young, Jamie Bell. So he's
think-
right the same age as me now.
I don't think it really matters because it's all motion capture.
Well, yeah, no,
so
it doesn't matter
Yeah.
logistically wise.
His voice
Logistically
broke,
wise,
so
it
it's
doesn't
okay.
make any sense.
That's weird. IMDb's not giving me a date for Tintin, even though I've put Tintin in.
What, Tintin 2?
No, just Tintin.
Oh, just Tintin.
Anyways,
Yeah.
It came out at some point.
it came out at some point in the past, and they want to do another one. Spielberg is doing 3,000,001 films at the moment, so I don't know how he's going to fit that into his schedule.
Well, he's not directing this time out. It's Peter Jackson because the deal was they were going to do 3 of them, and one Steven Spielberg was going to
gonna
direct
do-
the first one. The second one, Peter Jackson was going to direct the other one, and then the third one they were going to get a guest director, kind of thing. And then that kind of changed because after the first one, they said they'll try and do as many as they can, but it wasn't going to be like one every other year. It was going to be one whenever they
Whenever
fit
they've
it
got
in.
the time to do it.
Peter Jackson has been busy with The Hobbit, and that's why we've never seen a Tintin, because originally he wasn't supposed to direct.
It was
any of
Guillermo
those
del
films.
Toro
It was
supposed to
Guillermo del
direct
Toro. So, and he was supposed to do a World War II film. He was supposed to do a remake of the Battle of Britain, which still hasn't come. That, but the recent comments Spielberg made was that Tintin 2 is still happening, but Peter Jackson is doing a film with him that they're co-doing, which they haven't announced yet. I think I would like to think that like Spielberg's probably helping Jackson with the Battle of Britain, because that'd be pretty cool to see. I think.
I
But,
can't see him doing that.
but I could be wrong. It's just that I just think Spielberg's like really into his World War II, so is Peter
Big
Jackson.
fan.
So yeah, I just think it kind of goes hand in hand. But otherwise, what's this mystery project that they're both working on? And Tintin 2, like hurry up, man! I love the first one, I really did.
In between now and 2019, Steven Spielberg's got a lot to do.
Yeah, but he's just producing this one. He's not directing it.
Yeah, I know, but
No,
even
it still
even
takes work to.
sorry.
Still takes work to produce.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't just throw it in.
But he also produces so many other films under his belt. At any one time. I mean, look at the Transformers films.
Yeah, he
You know?
Yeah, look how well that turned out.
let's not fool ourselves. He just looks at it and goes,
and goes,
cool.
yes,
No,
cool.
he just goes cool.
Yeah.
He doesn't say anything
Yeah.
more. Michael Bay's got all control over that.
I think that's kind of the same thing here. I mean, like, there's a brain trust there between the two of them.
Maybe
They've
he's
written
been
the
burnt
scripts.
by the brain trust between him and Michael Bay and realised they make shit films if you leave them alone.
But they've they've already got the script written because they already wrote. Who wrote the script? It was who directed Attack of the Block?
Joe Cornish.
Joe Cornish and Edgar Wright. They've already written the script for the next Tintin. It's there in a vault in Anne Boleyn.
Mm-hmm. Well, look, I don't know about any of that, but considering how much these guys have got to do between now and 2019, if it comes out, I'll be surprised.
Does it really matter? It's CG anyway. That no one's gonna die.
I
Well,
know
no
that.
one's gonna get replaced
Well,
by age.
I don't know.
By age, and even if they do, I guess it would be a different voice or a different actor. You're
Yeah,
not
but
really gonna tell.
it takes a lot to do these films. Even
Yeah.
if it's, I don't know if it's going to be Wet or ILM that's going to be doing this, but it's
where.
it's still a lot to do, and so it's I don't know, but yeah, if and when it comes out, or if and when it's announced, because people like Guillermo del Toro, he likes to announce stuff. Hey, I'm doing this film, but you've got like 600 other films to do, Guillermo. How are you gonna do this? I don't know, but
Magic.
I'll do it. I also want to work with Kojima as well, and I want to do this. I want to work with Norman Reedus. I want to.
Is that Guillermo del Toro's accent that you're doing right there?
That's his accent. That's exactly his accent, and I've spoken to him personally, and that's what he
said that
sounds
is
like.
spot
You sound
on,
just
Joe.
like him, dude.
I know,
It's
it's uncanny.
Yeah.
Uncanny Valley, baby. And so...
Reasons why Joe's not an actor.
and so Guillermo, we're not talking about Guillermo. We're talking about Peter Jackson.
Yeah, we
Peter
are.
Jackson.
Isn't really doing much.
No, well,
He's doing a Doctor Who episode.
screw that.
He's doing his Mystery Spielberg project and Tintin. That's it.
Well, okay, yeah, well, I don't hate Doctor Who. I just don't watch it. It's.
Did you watch the one with me in it though?
You
No.
were Doctor Who?
I was in Doctor Who.
I
I was
didn't
an
know that.
extra in Doctor Who. Let's
Oh,
not
okay.
pretend like I was any big part in it. No, you know it was a Christmas episode from a couple of years ago when David Tennant was still Doctor Who,
Oh,
and they had Kylie Minogue in it, and they
Oh,
were
the
on the
Titanic
space
one.
Titanic. Yeah, I was one of the guests on the Titanic.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they gave me a husband. It wasn't Benedict Cumberbatch. I wrote it. And then I got bricks thrown at me. It was nice. Nice times.
You got bricks thrown at you.
Oh yeah, they weren't real. They were like sponge.
Okay,
bricks.
I
But
thought
they
you-
were like, run around and look scared. I was like, you're throwing things at me. This is not acting. I'm scared. You've married me off to someone and now you're throwing things at me.
Well,
It's fun times.
which reminds me, I've got to. Hold on a second, people. Just got to do this.
Are you taking a photo of us?
Yeah, because this is what I'm going to try and do for the podcast now. Just take a picture of the guests. And stuff.
The guest looking slightly crazy.
And he just looks like he doesn't want to be here.
He just doesn't want to be
we
sat
take-
next to
we
me. That's
take-
what it is.
We take the photo then.
Do your really
No.
happy face that.
I wasn't even supposed to be here today. Cool. Thanks. Well, yeah.
That was definitely the good photo.
No, I've got three to choose from. Yeah, so Peter Jackson. Hopefully, we'll be doing that. I'm going to move on to the next topic now. Which is Marvel and Fox have been talking about films.
Just in general.
Yeah.
Mostly because that's their business.
Because
They don't
that,
really talk about anything
that is
else.
precisely their business, and they've been talking about collaborations with because if you don't know, folks, Fox own the X-Men and various other artists, and I'm trying to be funny, and Marvel own Marvel. Well, Disney own Marvel, but
Joe, have you thought about finishing a sentence?
no,
Cool.
and Disney own Marvel, and so the two entities have access to different characters, and so they've been talking to each other in terms of making films with each other with the characters that they have. And so I don't know what these future films will be. It could be another X-Men film or another Avengers film with Wolverine in it, or whatever.
Or
that
Deadpool
could
and
be.
Spider-Man.
Or Deadpool and Spider-Man, which I think that would be awesome.
That'd
Yeah,
be pretty
that would be
entertaining.
That would be awesome. And Mel just came out with that out of nowhere, man. Just pulled it right out of the hat. I want to see that now. Make it work, Marvel and Fox, please.
Also, if you do that, penny. Thanks,
Royal-
but I don't know.
royalties. Sach.
Doesn't come as any surprise to me.
Really?
No.
It's
No.
a surprise to
No,
me.
it doesn't. Marvel automatically billion dollar movie maker right there. Alright? If it's not $1 billion in the first one, it definitely isn't a sequel. Whenever you're in a Marvel film, the minute the mass audience work out, holy shit, they're connected, boom. Apocalypse, not the biggest grossing X-Men movie. You know what I mean? The biggest grossing X-Men movie is the last one, Days of Future Past. I think that was mainly due to having both the old and the new cast, and it, you know, having Hugh Jackman forward as the lead. I think that was a major factor in that. Mainly because the mass audience, not the X-Men fans, before everyone gets mad at me and go, yeah, but Wolverine's like always front and centre in all of them. I don't care. Listen, I'm just talking for the mass audience here, not as a comic book fanboy. Hugh Jackman is the face of the X-Men generally towards most moviegoers. I know they've done the First Class and stuff, but they haven't made the bank as much as the original X-Men movies. You know, that's been proven. You know what I mean? This one, you know, second biggest grossing X-Men movie for sure, definitely, but it totally didn't make the money they were expecting it to make. You know, everyone's contracts are now out. You know what I mean? They're free. You know, McAvoy and Fassbender, they want to come back. Jennifer Lawrence can, you know, she doesn't know whether she wants to or not because she keeps changing her mind in every interview that you find on the internet because it's all about the blue makeup, huh? And
I don't know, if you spent God knows how many
Yeah.
hours every day doing the blue makeup, it would be a lot of
Yeah.
blue makeup to
But,
feel for the girl.
but that's neither here nor there. It's just kind of like we'll have to see on this one, because Fox at the moment can do anything with the X-Men. They can keep it with the McAvoy cast. Hell, they could even do another one with the Patrick Stewart cast. Either way, they're going to make bank on that. How much bank? Who knows? Joining with Marvel, automatically that franchise becomes gold to them. But I think they're waiting out to see how Spider-Man performs for Sony. You know, because they're with Sony still, they've kind of reversed engineered it now, because everyone's familiar with Spider-Man, how he is, but not with the Avengers. Usually when Marvel do a film, they'll do that film first with a little cameo by somebody. Like, look at Ant-Man, the cameo was Falcon, you know what I mean? And look at the first outings for all of the Marvel films, it was Nick Fury or whatever. You know what I mean? And then you had Avengers and they're all together, and everyone's like, oh, you know, the people that didn't get it, got it, finally. They all caught up. We just had Civil War. Spider-Man's shown up in that, and a lot of people are like, Spider-Man's part of the Avengers? I didn't know that. Why wasn't he in the other movies and stuff? I don't get it. But, you know,
Love the voice.
We've established Spider-Man. That's my J voice. And that's exactly what he said. He was like, oh, what? Like, Spider-Man's part of the Avengers? I don't get this. I thought, okay. But you know what I mean? Like, that's the point I'm trying to make. You know, they've reversed engineered it. They've put Spider-Man in there. So, you know, depending how much this new Spider-Man film makes next year, that's going to cement the future for, you know, Fox and Marvel, because it all hinges on that.
And we all agree Spider-Man's not going to make any money.
Not going to make any money.
Yeah, I was joking. It's...
Low budget indie film.
Yeah. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Hank Spider-Man.
Thanks, Spider.
It's about this guy who's trapped in a room, he gets bitten by a spider.
Nothing happens. It carries on.
Yeah.
Trying to write a book.
Like, it would happen to anyone. There's like, what was that? And brush it off and carry on with
Carry
your
on
life.
with his day.
Yeah, Spider-Man's going to make money.
Yeah.
Even though the last Spider-Man, I don't know what you would call that mess of, that was Amazing Spider-Man 2, but
Garbage.
It was
It was garbage.
I don't know what that was, but I really don't want to see Mr. Fox in it again.
Jamie Foxx.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't his fault.
No.
It's
That did look like. I mean, I didn't watch the film, but in the trailer, that looked like a terrible character.
oh my god, it's terrible.
It looked a bit kind of like, you know, oh god, was it Batman and Robin when they had
Yes.
Yeah, it was,
it looked
exactly.
a bit kind of like that.
It was exactly that.
Yes.
Really?
I'm gonna
You never need to
I'm
watch
gonna
that
let
film.
you guys trash talk those films, because if I go, we're gonna go over for hours. So like,
Fantastic.
Yeah, there you go. And Joe's like, I've heard this before. I
Yeah.
don't know whether we've had it on the podcast, and I don't
You're
care.
gonna have a rant.
Yeah.
Well,
Spider-Man's my favourite.
well, I'm intrigued by Mel's Spider-Man and Deadpool idea. I want that to happen.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Can I get some kind of monies from Marvel? That would be excellent. Or Fox, both of them. Just give me money, man.
Just pay.
You know all that stuff that you're paying to Scarlet Johansson? Like, I could totally play Black Widow. Let's do
Disney-
it.
Yeah, she comes
Disney-
up in the. She's coming up later on.
Oh yeah, she can share some of that money.
This is what I want from this. I'm like, Disney, go to Hugh Jackman's house, pay him a shitload of money, and put him in Infinity War. That's what I want.
You know what? He'll probably do it anyway.
Yeah,
He's one of those
even
guys. Yeah, sure, I'll do it.
yeah. He wouldn't-
That's another
That's a
Who
fabulous
was that?
Australian accent you just did there.
fantastic. Yeah.
Australians around the world.
Yeah.
Great.
Alrighty.
yeah, that's my 2 cents. Look, this thing I could imagine is going to happen. The rumor's too big now. It's too big.
Well, yeah.
Well,
Well,
it's a case of when they want to announce it.
yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, but I don't think any announcement's going to happen for at least another year and a bit, because it's all about the eyeballs are on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
Indeed.
If Spider-Man tanks though, that ain't gonna happen.
Okay. What would you describe as tanking?
Making less than the Amazing Spider-Man, the first one, lowest grossing Spider-Man movie.
Even
to
that's
date.
not tanking. If the film's
Yeah.
made for 100 let's say this Spider-Man film's being made for 120 million, even if it makes 350.
Yeah, true.
It's because of their expectations.
Yeah.
Why people will say it's tanked, and because it's a Spider-Man film, they would say it's tanked.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Batman vs Superman. It made 800 or 900 million.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's
that
deemed
was
as
a car crash.
It's critically not liked.
Yeah.
And it is, and it's deemed as a disappointing film by the general public. And to be honest, if I'd made a film that made 900 million, thank you very much. I'm checking out now.
But how
Bye
much
bye.
money did it cost to make in the first place? This is where it usually comes
quite a
into
bit.
it when they've got such high expectations for it, and it's a blockbuster film. They put shitloads of money into it. So whereas you can say, okay, like it made this much money, to take that away from the budget that they had or the amount of money they spent in the first place, it's probably not actually made that much money.
Yeah.
Plus, you've got to factor in the amount of marketing. That was the failure of The Amazing Spider-Man 2. They made the amount of money back on what they spent to make the movie, but they spent loads on that film had like 9 trailers.
The production budget on Batman vs Superman is 250 million.
Yeah, see, there we go.
Holy cow!
Yeah, and that's not even
They put
including
that much
marketing.
money into a film and it was still shit.
That's not even including marketing, right? Yeah.
No, it's not.
That's that actual film.
That's scary.
Yeah.
That's scary that a film could cost that much to make. When George, back in '95, when George Lucas was making episode 1, he made that under 95 million.
No, 115 million.
Okay, he made that. Some of the sequences in that film still look amazing today.
Believe it or not, all 3 Star Wars prequels. No, what was it? It was 120.
They got cheaper and cheaper to
It
make.
was 120 for Phantom Menace, 115 for the other 2. And
They got cheaper and cheaper to make, which was the whole point of him having the film practices that he was.
But with Sith, it was 90 million, and the rest was spent on extra marketing.
Well,
which he pulled out of his own pocket.
He kept his budget small and for.
That's usually the best films, though. I feel like if you've got a shitload of money to throw at something, people become lazy.
Yeah.
Because it's easy for them to do stuff. If you make it more challenging, people do it because they love it. Less because of the money, but because they actually love it. But they are more inventive, getting around obstacles and going. So I think this is the problem with a lot of films nowadays. They have a shitload of money to throw at it, and they've got all of these abilities to do all of these wonderful special effects and everything else like that. And they get caught up in that rather than thinking about the basis of any good storyline, which is character and actual story. And you can make something a wonderful exercise in special effects, but it's not necessarily a good film.
Yeah.
The thing that really brings people in most of the time is
the story.
Character and story.
Yeah.
And if you don't have those, it can look as pretty as you want, but it's not. It's not what people attach themselves to. It's not what people understand.
Yeah.
It's just a pretty piece of artwork.
Yeah.
But this is where people fall short on it. I think it's probably the same thing with a film like that. It's been built up to be this massive thing. They've had loads of funding put into it, and it's made them lazy.
Yeah, haven't even got the screenplay right because too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
At least Marvel's got a plan. They've got one clear plan of where they're going and stuff. They've got a tone, and which goes throughout all of their movies. And it's everyone's on board for the soap opera.
Yeah.
You know, DC don't have a plan. They're just reactionary.
I don't think DC, at the moment, from what I can see, they haven't brought on enough decent characters.
At the same time, look at Fox. Fox may have crashed and burned on some of these X-Men movies like Wolverine Origins and X-Men 3, but at the same time, they've really gone out their way to bring it back, and I think that's down to Bryan Singer personally.
I know some people would disagree with you.
Some people can disagree. I don't care, but I mean, you know, I just think I don't think the X-Men movies have been terrible.
No,
You know,
I don't.
Not horribly terrible. I mean, okay, well, recent, you know, the core ones that are now canon. Yeah, I mean, they've been okay. Yeah. I think, but you know, I think they've got a good skeleton to build a base to join up with the Marvel universe. I think they could do that. They'd have to solve the Quicksilver issue.
No, they wouldn't. Not really.
Yeah.
Not really.
But at the same time, you know, I guess that'll mean like we get Fantastic Four back, and if they get Fantastic Four, I've got to say this, Disney, Brad Bird, come on, make that happen, because
Can't
Incredibles
cope
was
with another
awesome.
Fantastic Four film.
Okay, well, I'm going to move on now. From that to Ghost in the Shell, and this is going to be a short one. It's just the director has said that this is an international story, and it shouldn't be deemed as... He's trying to make excuses for the casting, and to be honest, I'm not really too bothered about the casting. Everyone else is making a big deal about it, but the thing is about the character. Okay, I'm gonna get geeky with you guys. So the character, Major Kusanagi, is she's originally Japanese, but because the body that she has is something that's made in a factory, it can look like anyone, and so the argument there is that it can.
Well, I was thinking of her.
Why are you taking a photo of me?
Because we love you, Joe.
Yeah, we love you. And you're doing your thing.
That's okay.
No,
Oh, he can't work under stage pressure.
Okay.
Carry on,
Fair
Joe.
enough.
Yeah, that was weird.
How are you going to deal with paparazzi when you're rich and famous?
Yeah.
I'm not. You're gonna do that.
I'm going to deal with it. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so where was I going with this?
She can go into anybody.
Okay.
Joe, she can go into anybody. And
Yeah, okay. So
she shows them what to go into.
body's made in a factory, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
The only remaining part of her being is her brain, and which can be inserted into anybody, and so it's hence Ghost in the Shell, and it should. I don't think it should be a big deal that it's Scarlett Johansson, and even the original creators were saying that they don't have a problem with that, and if the original creators are saying that, then to be honest, I don't think anyone else should have a problem. But most of the people that are screaming and shouting about this are people that never even heard of Ghost in the Shell. They just know it's a Japanese property, and they just like to make noises. Yes, I am angry about the things that we're talking about, and it's look. The point being is that I don't think I'm more worried about the actual story in a sense, because the group that the group in the film is actually an international group, so fair enough. I'm not bothered about that, but it's a very complex story. I'm not sure if this direct. I mean, the other film that he did.
Who's the director?
Oh gosh, we were just talking about him. Did
Is it Alex Wingo?
Yes.
Is that the guy that? Okay. So the one who did. Is it him? No, I thought he was doing a different one. I don't think he was doing Ghost in the Shell.
I think I'm wrong about that.
Yeah,
Bless you, internet.
Rupert Sanders.
Okay, Rupert
Yeah,
Sanders.
see,
It's the guy that did Snow White and the Huntsman.
Yeah. So right there is every reason to be scared.
to be worried about this film. Yeah.
Yeah. The director they had before, I can't remember who it was, but I didn't like him either. To be, the only person I feel that can translate this properly was James Cameron, because he's the one that showed interest in the property back in '95, and to be honest, I don't have much faith in that this film. I think if anything, it will be okay.
Have they announced the rest of the cast yet, other than Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah, they have.
So who have they on it?
So the rest of the cast, one guy I've never heard of, Michael Pitt.
Okay. Michael Pitt.
Yeah.
Ah, he's good. We like Michael Pitt.
Okay.
He plays a lot of weirdos. Hence why I know who he is.
I've seen his face before, actually.
Yeah, he's been in loads of things. He was in that thing with Steve Buscemi, a really famous TV show. My God, why I can't remember it. Loads of gangsters.
And no sign of Kirsten Stewart in sight.
No sign of Kirsten Stewart for a very good reason. But yeah, Michael Pitt's good. But, you know, I can kind of see both sides of the argument with this whole thing with Scarlett Johansson playing this part. Yeah, she could be in anybody part. So there's no reason why she can't be played by a white woman. Yeah. But I feel like the issues have arisen from there are very few situations, particularly in Hollywood, where a Japanese person or a black person or anybody else can play any of the parts that are kind of set up within. They're often just cast as white people, white middle class people usually. Yeah. So the times when it actually comes up, when, as you said, it could be played by anybody. So therefore, legitimately, could be played by any Japanese actor or anything else like that. So I see that it's one of the very few times when they could get into a big blockbuster film and stretch themselves a little bit. But then again, at the same time, I still see the argument with the old Hollywood argument of, yes, but we need names that will create money. But then again, this is the argument they use for everything. And unless you start changing the sorts of people you use in a film, the people that are different from the white middle class people are never going to be names, and therefore you're always going to have that reasoning behind not using them. At some point, you need to start using people that are different races and different classes and everything else in films so that they become household names, and therefore people are more willing to watch them, and therefore you can put them in the blockbusters. But you have to start using them in the first place. Yeah. So I get the argument that she is supposed to be in kind of anybody, and she doesn't necessarily need to be Japanese. Yeah, she doesn't necessarily need to be Japanese, but it would help if she was because to get different actors out there, because I love Scarlett Johansson as well, and I'm sure she'll do a really good job because she's a good actor. And I'm never going to say she doesn't deserve it. I don't think it's her fault in any way, but I feel like Hollywood just needs to start doing something different. Yeah. From what they always do. It's easy to cast the attractive white woman.
It's clearly a case of getting the biggest name
to sell the property.
To sell the property and get the budget that they want to tell the story on. Which I think is kind of like the wrong way to go.
Ghost in the Shell is kind of a big thing anyway. So
to a degree to an audience, but you got to understand the.
Don't want to say it to a core audience. Yeah. So in order for the core audience to understand what this property is, I mean, because of what's the film that she did before that? Lucy. Lucy was an unknown property, but because Scarlett Johansson was in that role, people went to see it because she was in that role.
No,
the thing is with Ghost in the Shell, it's a new IP in terms of the movie. Sure, the anime has been around for years, and there's one currently going on at the moment, which my brother watches all the time. But I mean, you got to understand that anime community is quite a small community. Yeah. You know what I mean? Even now, you know what I mean? Like that, we're talking about 5% of the movie-going audience. You know what I mean? And probably even less than that now. And most of these guys don't even go to watch films at the theatre anyway. You know what I mean? They stream them online at Crunchyroll.com, and you know what I mean? So, and most of them wouldn't be interested in seeing a live action. A load of them would write off a live action Ghost in the Shell straight away anyway. You know what I mean? Unless word of mouth says, actually, the movie's kind of good, you've got to check it out. So for them, they're just getting an IP that has a name where people will be like, I've heard that before, which is like with any of these things, and they're trying to market it to the people that have never necessarily watched the cartoon or the anime or anything and do a different take. I get it, you know, I get it, and I agree with you about the whole actress thing. It's like, fair enough, if they're going to do this, why do they need 200 million to make this movie? You know what I mean? Why can't they film it at a lower budget with an unknown, get the big name for the supporting cast? Yeah. You know what I mean? And then maybe you can negotiate a budget through that route of doing things.
Either that or to change anything within this industry, then you need to start putting kind of different races and different people within the slightly kind of lower budget. I think maybe not particularly Ghost in the Shell if you want to end up with that as a high budget thing, but at some point something needs to change. Because at the moment, all it is there are white middle class people in the indie films, and then they become the white middle class stars, and then they are the things, and then they are used as the excuse of, well, they're the only stars that we have, and we don't have any other people, so we have to keep using them. At some point, it has to change. It's the same as my argument for women in film. They so often say, well, they don't make any money because you haven't ever given them any lead parts, so you don't know whether them playing a lead in a movie is going to make any money. So at some point, it has to change, and I think maybe it needs to be lower in the chain rather than going straight at the big box office ones. Yes, they're going to do what they know makes money because they spend so much money on it in the first place, and it is a business at the end of the day. But maybe at some point, and as I say, it's not necessarily to do with this film, at some point slightly lower down, they need to start introducing people that are different. That aren't the same kind of run-of-the-mill freaking white people. And I say that as a white person. I'm sick of seeing other me's all the time. It's not even me, I'm working class, it doesn't work. But, it's the same thing. And it's the same excuses used over and over and over again as to why they can't do it.
Yeah, it's...
And I get it. I get that they need to make money, but something needs to change.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, even when Luc Besson makes his films, he keeps his cast pretty diverse. Watching what was it? The Fifth Element. I mean, in the main leads you do have these beautiful white people in them, but the supporting cast are usually quite diverse, and I like him for that.
But even as far as the particular actors go, I mean, like, look at one of his most famous films with Leon. And Natalie Portman was a child when she did that film, so she wasn't well known. The guy who plays Leon, whose name I can never remember.
Jean Reno.
Yeah, Jean Reno. There we go. He was famous in France, but not. And that film is really successful.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really, like, the most famous person it has in it is Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Who is a side character.
Yeah.
I mean, he's amazing, but he's not by any means the main character in it, and that still did really well. So there again is proof that you don't necessarily have to have the big names in the main parts. Yes, you do have to have little snippets of big names that we already know to kind of draw people in, but you don't necessarily have to have them taking up the whole main part thing. You can. How do you ever get new actors in? Otherwise, we'd still be putting Marlon Brando in films because nobody knows anybody else. Like, at some point, you have to put people that you don't know in something and hope that they do well.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me there's not a decent Japanese actress in the world. Here's a buttload.
Ken Watanabe. There's one I can think of. And there's actually a Japanese actor in this film.
The girl from The Wolverine, right?
I wasn't actually talking about her, but yes, you're right. It's not him either. Shinhan. It's not Japan. It's Takashi Kento. He's famous in Japan. He usually plays psychopaths in a lot of Japanese films.
Only God Forgives?
No.
No, he wasn't. Okay. Who am I
I recognise him from somewhere.
So he's in Battle Royale and it's a film called Fireworks. He's usually playing a psycho cop, or just generally a psycho.
So I'd love him then.
Yeah,
really.
yeah, he would.
He's my favourite.
Or a psycho teacher. Sorry, a psycho teacher. He's been in a couple of Western films.
Wait, he wasn't in that Rurouni Kenshin thing that I saw, was he? No.
I don't think so. No.
Because that was good. I'm just mumbling to myself there. This is not a good point. Just having a little mumble.
Well, he's very famous in Japan anyway, and as it is Ken Watanabe, who's you kind of crossed over when he did that film with Tom Cruise. Oh gosh, what was it called? Last Samurai. He's also in Inception. In fact, he does a lot of. I think he's been in two of. Anyway, I'm going to move on now. From Ghost in the Shell. From Ghost in the Shell to Pacific Rim 2, actor Scott Eastwood is reportedly in talks to play a key role in this upcoming sequel. And if you've not seen Scott Eastwood, he looks exactly like his dad.
No, he doesn't.
You don't think so?
He looks a lot like his dad, but hotter. It's like if you make like Clint Eastwood is already quite a good-looking guy, being Clint Eastwood and all. But if you just make him prettier,
He looks
you've got
like
Scott
he
Eastwood.
looks like a Technicolor version of Rawhide Clint Eastwood. Because I know what Rawhide looks like in colour, so you know.
He's beautiful. I would like to. I've never seen him act in anything.
I don't know.
Apparently, he's very good.
He is very good.
But I haven't seen him, so I can't.
He's
And
in a
I'm
lot
not
of-
going to go with my
he's in
hormones
Nicolas
on this
Sparks
one,
films,
which makes
isn't
me
he?
really want to.
He's in
See,
a
that's
lot-
why I haven't watched that.
He's in a lot of his dance films, you know,
Is he?
but always as like a bit part
Tiny
or
little,
whatever.
yeah.
He's been around for years. It's just that he's never taken the stage up until now.
But then that makes me kind of
So-
think that he probably is quite a good actor, and that
Yeah.
he's trying to work his way up rather
Yeah.
than just being I'm Clint Eastwood's son. I
Yeah,
just
exactly.
have
Well,
to
that's
learn
just
He's
it.
trying
That's just it.
to learn it.
That's just it. He's just been grafting his own career now, and only now he's getting the recognition because you know what I mean. He's getting
But
the
if he
roles
has
now.
anywhere near the talent that his
So-
dad has,
Oh yeah, of
and
course.
then he's obviously working at it rather than jumping straight into it,
Yeah.
that's
Well-
probably a good thing. I still can't take a title such as Pacific Rim seriously because the
Yeah.
child in my brain.
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean. It's
I'm actually quite looking forward to this movie. I quite like the first one. What's that? John Boyega. I'm sorry, he's won me.
I love John Boyega.
I love John Boyega. Seriously, he's cool. You know, the addition of him and Scott Eastwood. Yeah, goodbye from me. Scott Eastwood should be Hugh Jackman's replacement, by the way. I think
I
Oh
don't.
my god.
totally.
I don't.
Yeah.
He would be my first choice for Wolverine.
He'd be kind of cool.
He would be.
I want them to remake what's the films that Clint Eastwood used to do with the revolver and
Oh, Dirty Harry.
yeah they should remake Dirty Harry with Scott Eastwood.
Does it need to be remade though?
No,
Dirty
they
Harry
don't.
kind of stands
They
on its
don't
own.
need to.
As much as I see where that would be hilarious.
There'd be 12A rubbish.
See, you saw the reason that I wanted it to be made,
Right.
and that's exactly what needs to be made.
I think we should just do a YouTube channel with that on there. Let's not spend a load of money on it. Let's just do. Did I tell you about my YouTube channel that me and my flatmate are gonna do?
Go for it.
So,
Plug
because we get really carried away by watching silly memes.
Oh,
So I don't know if anyone's seen Charlie the Unicorn on YouTube.
No.
Oh my god, okay, so anyone who hasn't seen it, there's 2 different series made by these crazy people. Again, a lot of people that are probably on acid at the time. So there's Charlie the Unicorn, and then there is the piss take of their own cartoon series called Charlie Tay Unicron. And it's just ridiculous. Like, they're clearly on a lot of drugs, and the whole storyline is Charlie, who's just a really grumpy unicorn in kind of the vein of Eeyore. And then he's got 2 friends that are also unicorns that are really excitable, and they're like, "Hey Charlie, let's go on an adventure, Charlie, yeah!"
Yeah, I have seen that.
So they're kind of like, and they're really annoying, and at the end of most episodes they steal his liver or his kidney. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. It's very dark.
Yeah,
in a
it's
sense
really
that,
dark, but they're really obnoxious and annoying all at the same time. So, like, this has kept me and my flatmate, Lydia, really excited for an awful lot of time. We keep reenacting half of them when we're bored. So then we decided it'd be a really good idea to just start
Reactions.
a YouTube channel. Well, not even reactions. We're just reenacting a bunch of really ridiculous memes. So there's another one with a llama. Not by the same people, I think. I can't remember what it's called, but there is another one that's all about like a llama and maybe he's some friends as well. And we just find all of these really ridiculous memes and reenact them because we like doing cartoon voices.
That you never know. That could
Hugely entertaining.
that could get
We're
you.
live action Charlie the Unicorn.
No, that could get you a voice acting job. You never know.
Well, this is what I really want in my life. I want to work for, well, not for, I say Disney. I don't want to work for Disney because they won't let me get away with the stuff that I want to do.
You never know.
Maybe Pixar. I might get away with a bit more, but I like to do a good, random, stupid voice. I did a web series a little while back where I played the voice of an evil sock puppet.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Which was hours of fun. So yeah, anytime I get to do a lot of stupid voices, this is my thing. I don't know why I started on this. Was it a website? Oh, it was the
Scott Eastwood.
Scott Eastwood web
oh
series.
right, yeah.
So maybe Scott Eastwood should play Charlie in the Charlie the Unicorn things, and then me and Lydia can be the other 2 unicorns.
You'd love that, wouldn't
Which
you?
incidentally, they're not sure whether they're boys or girls.
Really?
Nobody knows.
Sound
Because
like
you
girls.
never refer to them as they've got quite high pitched voices, so they would probably be girls.
That's
But God knows.
it's very out there.
You have to watch this. If nobody's seen Charlie the Unicorn, definitely watch it because it's hilarious.
Well, yeah, well, Scott Eastwood. Who's going to be directing Pacific Rim 2?
Stephen DeKnight.
Oh, okay.
Stephen DeKnight, who directed a couple of episodes of Daredevil. This is his first feature film credit. Del Toro is still producing, and it's based off his story. So, yeah. Rock on.
So what? Are we done? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
done.
rock on. Sacha
Okay.
called it.
I'm sorry.
So,
You
okay.
had anything to add?
No, not really. I think we've covered
Yeah.
everything. Okay, so from Pacific Rim 2 to Clifford and the Big Red Dog. So this I used to read,
Right.
so people used to call it Clifford and the, as you heard me say earlier, Clifford and the Big Red Fucking Dog, and yeah, that's what we used to call it at school.
What?
Brilliant, love it. What?
Yeah. You're gonna need to explain this one to me. Is this like a cartoon or something? Or is
So there used to be a series of books where, let me just show you the picture.
am I gonna be scared by this?
No, not at all.
Is it like Water Mess? Because I love Water Mess.
Not really.
Oh.
I would
Someone
s-
told me I look like Water Mess once. That was.
Really?
Oh, I have seen this dog before. I don't really know his point, but I've seen him.
It's just a big red dog.
Is he really happy? Because that's gonna make me judge him a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I already don't like him.
Yeah,
Is he happy?
well, they're making a film out of this. They're making a
Why?
CG film
Like, where
out of
is
this.
this gonna go? What
I
could
don't
possibly
know.
happen to Clifford?
This is why I think it's hilarious. It's one, they want to set it. I could see it as an animated cartoon, but as a real world, like, do you know how they did the Smurfs
They're
a
gonna
few
do
years
that.
back? They're gonna do something like that,
It
and
didn't work for the Smurfs, and it's not gonna work now. Like, let it go.
yeah, I
It
know.
worked for Paddington.
Yeah, okay, Paddington was fine, but
I
it's
didn't like Paddington.
How many people actually went to see Paddington?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So
But,
it didn't really work. did it?
It's.
Yeah,
I don't know
that's what it is.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about this. I thought it was funny because, wow, they're going to do a film of this.
I didn't even know how it could. But you'd make a better film out of Water Mess, I'm telling you.
You probably could. Well, at least there's an actual premise,
Yeah.
He's
he
messy.
Makes a mess.
and someone needs to clean it up.
Yeah.
And with the dog, he's just really big and red. And
Baffling.
they make. I'm sure they'll come up with some kind of MacGuffin or something. Maybe he gets stolen by the government, kidnapped
Clifford's
even.
in the business of stealing big red dogs. Is he like a giant red dog that will stand on people, or is he just like a normal sized red? Is he just like a Labrador that
See,
dyes his hair?
it varies because in
So-
the books they never actually give a estimation of how
Well,
big he is.
Well, Paramount are making this one. I could only imagine it's now an
Transformers.
IP bought by the Transformers and
They already
Hasbro.
hate it.
And they're probably going to get Michael Bay in on it, and
Michael
Optimus
Bay is
Prime's
going to
gonna
blow
come,
up Clifford.
and yeah, Clifford's going to chase.
That's going to be the best
Bumblebee.
part of the film, where he
And,
blows up Clifford.
It's a crossover.
The end.
It's a crossover.
If you want Bayhem.
If you want Bayhem.
Oh god.
We should totally be in a movie
Michael
business.
Bay.
now.
And
Oh, yeah.
dogs.
We would make the best films.
Oh yeah, we would. Well, these guys are already doing it. They're making a film about a big red dog, and it's going to be CG in the real world.
Nobody wants that.
No, they do. It's on. It's
Only the people that are making it want
it's
it. There's like
written
5
down.
people in a room. They've decided that they
so it's
want
like
that.
this.
I'll do.
Okay, big red dog.
Although it could be, you know, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Whoever was in the room to pitch that, seriously, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have some cartoon turtles that eat pizza and are teenagers, but are also ninjas. And it's gonna be excellent, and then someone gave them money to it, and that sounds like a shit premise, but it's excellent. Apart from the films, obviously, but the TV show was excellent.
Yeah.
So you never know, it might be. No, it's not gonna be.
I can't-
But it might be fantastic.
I can't picture this in any way being
I'll tell you
particularly
what.
good.
I'll do a version of it, a low budget version of it, starring my mate Adrian, redhead. He's not actually a redhead, and a dog. His dog. You can be in it too.
I've got red hair. I'm also not actually a redhead, it's fake. But...
Have you explained to her who Adrian is?
I don't think she's prepared for Adrian. No one is. I'll show you his dog. His dog's awesome.
Well, anyway,
While we're doing that.
on from that, on to Death Note. Okay, so Death Note.
This is the one with Alex.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm
So Death Note. If no one knows what Death Note is, it's about this book that falls down from wherever Shinigami heaven.
Oh, is this the one where you can write in the name of and then they die?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and so the Warner Brothers have had this. They've been wanting to do this for a long time, and it's just I think it was just finding the right time to do it, and so they've just started. But I don't even think it's it's Netflix now. So
Yes.
so this is going to be a Netflix film, which I'm not really sure if it was going to bode well for it, but it's going to be on Netflix anyway. So
I don't know. It's got to be better than all the Adam Sandler films they have on there.
oh god, yeah. And
It's
so
a constant fight I have with Netflix when they're like, films recommended for you, Adam Sandler. I've never watched an Adam Sandler film. I've watched one Adam Sandler film in my life and it's not been on Netflix, and then all the rest of them make me want to kill him. So I don't know why they keep suggesting to me to watch that, but that's what's happened.
yeah, they need to get the
So
viewership.
I'm looking forward to Death Note because it's something other than Adam Sandler.
To be honest, I think it'd be right up your street because okay, so the character in the original manga, the character that gets this note, he's bored of life. He's sick of the way the world is, and he's got these views about the world. And basically, I wouldn't put this as an extreme version of what I'm going to say, but it's almost like if Donald Trump had this power.
Well, that would be fun.
Yeah.
There'll be
Does it
sure
get
be
rid
a
of
hell of a lot of dead
Mexicans,
people.
or-
So yeah, basically you write someone's name in this book and they die, and you can even write the way they die,
Oh, okay.
and so it'd be like Mel steps into a car, the car, a meteor falls from heaven and crashes the car, and it would happen.
Did you notice that the first thing Joe said to explain this is killing me?
I didn't. It was.
I feel like there's some level of hostility.
In some strange way, being killed by a meteorite is quite original.
That would be quite cool.
How
Like,
many
they just
people
make
do
their
you know
papers.
have
Thanks
been
for giving me
killed by a
a
meteorite? That's quite creative.
That is.
Not that it's right, because we'd lose Mel. But
Or
What would the world do without me?
would you imagine the gravestone? Here lies Mel,
Crushed
by-
by a meteorite.
killed by a crashed meteorite, summoned
Well,
by
here
Joseph.
lies part of Mel.
Yeah.
A flat Mel.
or
It'd be an urn though, wouldn't it?
It would be mostly an urn, I
It'd be
feel.
mostly an urn.
or you could go the Chandler route and go the ridiculous and get killed by a blimp.
You know, that feels like a Simpsons.
That sounds.
Like Homer Simpson would be killed by a blimp.
Well, it's
Or Ross. Yeah,
it kills as many as one people a year.
What,
as
right?
many as one people.
Yes.
That's true.
Except for the Hindenburg disaster.
Well, that happened several years ago.
No, that happened in the 1940s.
So-
Yeah, several years ago.
Well, yeah, it's 2000.
When I say several, it's a general term of making a space between years.
Okay.
Guys, before we start bickering again, is there a cast list? For
No, well, I think there is
No
actually.
idea.
Let's have a look.
No.
If it's got Oscar Isaac in it, it's officially my favourite.
I don't think it has.
I should be in casting for Hollywood and casting on anything. You'd never have
See,
a holiday ever.
this is where it
in
would be a
life.
mistake because there'll be only
Guys, it's worked
there'll be
to
4
death.
people in every film, and I know exactly who they would be.
No, there wouldn't. Sometimes I would cast other people. Sometimes I would. Well, you have to have girls in them.
No.
Yeah. Okay. What? I do like some women.
Ruth Wilson, Scarlett Johansson, Jessica Chastain. There's quite a lot of women I like. Rebecca Hall.
I like Rebecca Hall.
There we go. See? I'd be brilliant at this casting. I like it.
Wow, there's actually no...
Some people would get no sleep, but other than that, it would be fun.
I don't even know what that means. Okay, so there's no cast for this film yet.
But they've got the director, which
Yeah,
is Alex, whose name I can never remember. Wingham?
Let me bring up the... Yeah. Okay, I didn't even write it there.
Yes, you
Nice
did.
going
It was
through.
somewhere on here. Oh, Wingard. Adam Wingard. So you're totally wrong.
Yes.
It's good. But he is the guy that did The Guest,
Yes.
which I love.
So, hopefully...
So that's a good sign. It's at least got a...
Yeah, it's got a credible...
Because that's the kind of storyline as well that kind of needs a very dark, comedic brain on it, which The Guest kind of goes pretty...
Yeah.
That, again, is dark, but
It's
quite funny but scary all at the same time. That works.
It's almost like a rubber band. It goes one way and then it brings it back right to... Oh, that little bit's a little bit ridiculous. But it's ridiculous in that funny way.
I mean, the actors work perfectly in it as well. Like, they're amazing for those parts. They obviously understand exactly what it is they're doing. But I feel like there's a lot to do with the director as well. So, I mean, from that point of view, I have pretty high hopes for it. I feel like it should just be a film in its own right rather than just being on Netflix.
Well, I mean, if...
I'm going to write them a strongly worded email.
Well, either way, this film is highly regarded in the anime community. It's actually very well written. It used to have it. The anime is anyway. It's without going into too much depth with it. It's built for... You could make several Hollywood films out of it, and so I'm not sure why it's gone to Netflix, but people are going to see it anyway, and hopefully it will do well enough for them to give it an actual release. That's all I've got to say about that. What about you,
It's
sir?
got Nate Wolff from A Fault in Our Stars and Paper Towns. It's also got Margaret Qualley, who's in The Nice Guys. She played Amelia in The Nice Guys. They're so far the only two names attached. There's no script, but they've got stars.
They've started filming it.
Have
they?
they?
Yeah.
So it must have a script.
Must have a script.
I thought they're just making it up as they
Unless
go along,
they're,
which would be
unless they're,
hilarious.
unless they're actually basing it off of pre-existing material.
Or the anime and the manga.
Yeah, well... Oh wait, they do.
Well, yeah, the anime and the manga.
Okay, they've got the co-writer of The Nice Guys, not Shane Black, but Anthony Rossi. He co-wrote Nice Guys with Shane Black. So,
well, there's definitely going to be humour in it because there's humour in the anime. So
kind of has to be with something like that as well.
Yeah, and so I know exactly who what was the actress in Nice Guys? What was she called?
The name.
Totally written down on your phone.
Anyway, I know who they've cast her as. There's an actress in the anime that falls in love with the guy who's got access to the book, the Death Note, and she's very, very, very bright, very sparkly, very, very overly happy about everything, and that's the
Margaret Qualley.
Margot Qualley, okay. Even though she wasn't like that in the Nice Guys.
Yeah.
Even though she wasn't like that in the Nice Guys.
She could. She could pull that.
That's the only character I think she could be. So either way, I can't say much more about this, so I'm going to move on.
Just look out for it.
Yes, cool. Look out for it, guys. Okay, so going back onto Scarlett Johansson. It seems that she's the highest grossing actress now in modern times. Because of all the Marvel movies that she's been doing, I guess her pay has been stacking up, and she...
Yeah, but it's grossing. It's not necessarily what she's paid. It's what she's made cinema wise.
The
same as Harrison Ford is. I think it's Harrison Ford is the highest grossing actor.
but he does. Yeah, but yeah.
It's not necessarily he's paid more than anybody else.
I think Samuel Jackson said it best. He said it best on Graham Norton. He goes, "I wish I saw some of that money." Like literally, because it was Samuel Jackson. It was Samuel Jackson. Then it was Harrison
and keep
Ford.
switching and changing.
All Harrison Ford had to do was just do a Star Wars film, and then boom, and then Samuel Jackson was like, "I'm coming for you, Harrison."
The only thing this tells me really is when you had all of the stuff with the Avengers and all of the merchandise and stuff they had when they were just like, no, we're not going to put Black Widow on it because no one wants to see it. Well, clearly they do.
I find that strange myself.
Yeah, because no straight comic book loving guy ever wants to look at a picture of Scarlet Johansson.
She's repulsive.
She is. It's tragic how unattractive this woman is. Yeah, I don't think the merchandising people really understand much about human beings. But that's all that really... She's been in a lot of big films. She's been in Marvel films and they've made the most money for a long time. Marvel and Star Wars is the ones that really do it. So it's going to be... And then Daisy Ridley's only been in one of those films, so she's not... I don't know, Carrie Fisher might be doing right.
Well, I guess that's a different podcast.
But she probably drank it all away. So.
That's a different
Smoked
podcast.
it all away.
Anyway, well, jeez, in that sense.
Talking of drink it all away. I just spilled perfectly good alcohol down my leg because I'm that person. I'm not even drunk. That's worrying. I'm down now.
Tragedy.
Can't take me anywhere, can you, Jay?
No, I can't. Well, clearly not.
You try not to.
I'm not going to go into that.
He's trying to back out.
Yeah, I'm trying to back out.
Run away,
Keep smiling. Back away. Turn around.
Anyway, what film?
So
Scarlet Johansson's making a lot of money.
Yeah, it looks like she's going to make even more because she's in two other. She's in Ghost in the Shell and she's going to be in. What's the film? She looks like she might be getting her own Black Widow film, maybe, possibly.
I still feel this is too late to do a Black Widow film.
Yeah, just
like every other standalone film that they've done for one of the Marvel characters has been like the origin story to set them up to then be in a group film. She's been in everybody else's films, and then you're going to be like, let's go back to where she started. Like it's a little bit late.
There's still quite a lot to be learnt about Black Widow. I mean, like you don't
know that much about them, but it's just I don't know. It depends how they do it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to take it from the start. You can have it current day and just have flashbacks to certain stuff. You know, like how Batman like always keeps waking up about his dad. You know,
Jesus Christ.
I know.
well,
Father.
Well, I mean, either what.
Wasn't that most of Batman and Superman?
Again, I didn't watch it. I refuse.
Well, that's the thing. They in Batman vs Superman, they went over his origin again. I know his parents died.
Everybody knows that his parents died. Nobody cares anymore.
And I don't know how many other ways you can shoot that. It's not
even an interesting story how they died either. They didn't die particularly like out of this world kind of fantasy. They got shot by some guy that was stealing from them.
Yeah.
That's never happened.
It just happens they happen to be the Waynes.
Yeah, well, therefore the easiest targets because they were obviously really rich to everybly. Like they're famously rich.
Yeah, and
again, that's like the Trumps getting robbed. Who knew they had shitloads of money?
Well, again, bringing it back into Scarlett Johansson, I think she's very, very capable actress. I think she deserves the money that she's getting, or that she potentially could make. Do
you know what I would like to see her do? I would really like to see her go back to doing some of the indie stuff that she did.
Right.
Before she was particularly famous. Because she is a very, very good actor.
Did you, sorry to cut into you, did you ever see the film that she did a few years ago where she was an alien? Oh gosh, what was it called?
Yeah.
I really wanted to see that. I never did see it, and I can't remember what it's called. But I really, really, really wanted to see that because that actually looked quite cool. But she was
she was
English for part of it as well, though.
Yeah, she's a really good British accent.
But see, that's the sort of film I want to see her do more. I think she gets, fairly understandably caught up in doing the blockbusters, but
Under the Skin.
Yes, yeah.
there we go.
Well,
But I think like she stretches herself when she does that, and I love her when she does parts like that. Just with the slightly odd, because it's so easy to cast her as the gorgeous woman that everybody wants, because that's who she is. But she's a better actor than that.
Yeah. I mean, just watching Under the Skin, I know why she's getting the role for Ghost in the Shell now, because it's the character that she plays in Under the Skin is void of any kind of emotion, and so is the character in Ghost in the Shell. She's so what's the word? Because of her body and her job, she starts to lose herself more and more and more until she becomes this thing. And am I human? Am I this? Am I that? And I'm pretty sure that's why she was chosen for that role. If you ever get to see it, it's a very slow burn, but it's worth it.
It's definitely on my list.
Yeah, it's worth
like
it.
what's it, Don John?
I've not seen that.
I love that film.
You've never
It is
seen
so
Don
good.
John.
You should watch
You
it.
need to
Joseph
watch that.
Gordon-Levitt,
That is your
Scarlett
film.
Johansson,
Yeah, I'll get to it.
genius.
Yeah, I'll definitely get to it. I like.
But again, she
Joseph
plays a very
Gordon-Levitt.
different character
Yeah,
to what
totally.
she normally does.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
those were
She's
such.
good.
But those were sandwiching. Those are two very different films that were sandwiched in the Marvel films. She still does those films. Just we're so used to seeing the Marvel brand
that gets
every other year, where
it kind of outshines.
Yeah,
the rest
outshines
of
all
it.
the smaller stuff.
You don't see
yeah.
because she had a massive part within making Don John as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like she collaborated a lot with Joseph Gordon-Levitt in getting that character and getting. Well, so she actually had to work for it, which again, she's good at that. She knows what she's doing. She knows what's funny. She knows what's entertaining. She's a smart girl and she's a good actor.
Yeah.
And that's where I love her. It's where I can see her really doing what she's good at, rather than, as I said, Black Widow. I love her as Black Widow, but it's an easy character for her to play.
Yeah.
And even
Because she has to be gorgeous and charming, and that's how she is naturally.
Yeah.
And even though it was just a voiceover, she played a phone or a device in her.
Yeah.
Yeah, operating system
In her.
Yeah, again, that's hard work because what she has to work with is her voice.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to just do that and to get across all the emotion and everything else that you need to in just the voice.
Yeah, project emotion with no actual visual reference of what.
Because most of what
that film
actors do,
will be.
especially film actors, most of what they do is in like the raise of the eyebrow or twitch of the mouth or something. It's very understated. It's not necessarily in the voice always. It's a lot of very understated things. Whereas when you come to doing the voice work, you have to go that extra bit because you have nothing else to rely on. You can't have the stretching out a hand for something or raising an eyebrow or doing anything else. It is literally just what you're doing with your voice and nothing else. She does a really good job in that.
Yeah. I'm impressed with her. I've always been impressed with her, but that I guess. What was the first? I first saw her in what's the film with Bill Murray?
Oh, Lost in Translation.
Lost in Translation. That's what I mean. She's been in films before
Did you see
that.
Ghost World?
Yeah.
No, I only recently knew that she was in there. I was like, oh my god, that's Scarlett Johansson. And Ghost was one of those dark comedies as well. And I've seen a clip from that, and it's very Kevin Smith word orientated in terms of its dialogue.
Yeah.
I've only seen a small part of it, but
her
Ghost
and
World.
Thora Birch together are kind of genius.
Yeah.
Double act.
Yeah.
They're both a little bit odd, but cool at the same time.
Yeah.
You kind of want to be friends with them, but they're weirdos.
The in-between.
Good graphic novel too. If you've ever read the comic book, it's based on Ghost World. It's based on a series of graphic novels. It's quite good. I think it got adapted at the time because, it wasn't like your typical comic book, and same way Scott Pilgrim is and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ghost World's definitely one to watch for.
Well,
I haven't seen it.
whatever Scarlett Johansson is going to be doing after these films, I don't know if Ghost in the Shell will be popular or will do anything at the box office, but she's made her name for herself, and she deserves to be the highest grossing actress.
Do you know what it sounds like? We've all been sitting here and waxing lyrical about Scarlet Johansson. Like we're all sat here wearing Scarlet Johansson t-shirts.
We love you, Scarlet.
And we actually are.
Now get back to work.
Okay, so Daniel Radcliffe. He's
Who?
not. That guy.
That guy.
That guy.
That guy. That guy.
That guy.
That guy.
So he's not ruled out a return to play Harry Potter.
Good.
Surprise, surprise.
Is that really a story though, do you feel?
Not really.
Like he's not ruled out coming, like he's not definitely coming back, but he's not really ruled out coming back. Like it's not the worst idea in the history of man.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But do you think there are going to be more Harry Potter films?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, look, they got the Cursed Child playing up in the theatre that could easily be adapted into two movies right there, set when he's 35.
Yeah, so they're gonna have to wait for him to get a lot older.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna happen.
I feel like it's just flogging a dead horse though.
Yeah.
Like the theatre show, I get.
Yeah.
Because it's around the right time. So I think if they bring it back when he's like 30 something, and go, hey, should we do? I feel like you're just dragging something out that doesn't like the Harry Potter films. I haven't watched many of them. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But they're not. I mean, the ones that I have seen are not bad films. They're like, this is just not my sort of thing. But they're very well made films with very good actors in it, and I get the excitement behind them. But I feel like if you drag it on for too long, it's going to be the same as every other film that's got 1,000,001 sequel. There's a limit.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how good the film, no matter how good the writers, there is a limit to how far you can get. And sometimes you just need to, like, I think they're good as they are.
Yeah.
They're wonderful as they are. And I get having the theatre show. I get doing the thing with Eddie Redmayne as well, because there's a different side of it.
Mm.
But I feel like if you come back in a few years' time to Harry Potter still in the same days, but when he's like 30 something, it's just flogging a dead horse.
Yeah. Well, yeah, sorry.
Go after you, Joe.
Well, yeah. I when I saw this story, I thought, well, yeah, duh. Of course he'd come back.
Yeah.
It's money.
But there's also the thing, if he doesn't, he's kind of in a difficult position there, because if he goes, oh, I definitely wouldn't come back, if he thinks the same as me, like it'd be flogging a dead horse, and he goes, no, I definitely wouldn't come back, it seems like he hates that film.
Right.
And this is the film that made him famous.
Yeah.
So he can't afford to be, oh, well, I'm definitely not going to come back and do it. He has to still be like, of course I would want to do this, because this is the film that made me. But at the same time, you can still love the films that you did and appreciate how they made you, but not want to do another one. But the audiences tend to not accept that so much.
Yeah.
So I feel like he doesn't necessarily believe. I mean, he might genuinely want to come back.
He seems like a nice dude.
But he doesn't necessarily believe that. He might just be like, I can't go against it and say no. I definitely wouldn't do it, because. Everyone's gonna be mad at me, and they're gonna think I hate it when I don't hate it.
And yeah,
like, he's a clever guy.
Yeah.
I think he knows when something has kind of reached its course and when it hasn't. And I don't think he'd be that tempted into doing it. But as I say, at the same time, he's not gonna want to say that it's a terrible idea, because he owes his career to those films.
Yeah, and I think he's also just broken out of being typecast as Harry Potter. It's taken a long time, but people are starting to recognise that he's a good actor now.
Yeah.
As opposed to, hey, it's that guy that's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also playing someone else.
Yeah.
I mean, he's made a lot of smart moves. Like, after Potter, he stayed consistently out there, better than his peers, I think. I mean, I know Emma Watson has done other stuff.
Well, yeah, Emma Watson's definitely broken out of that stereotype. Not stereotype. She's not. What is wrong with me today? No one thinks of her as Armani anymore.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that, but
no, they think of it, but they.
Oh yeah.
Because she's done so many different types of films now, you don't see her as that one character.
I think he has been the most successful in you.
Yeah,
like,
I think
Yeah.
with him,
like, even compared to her.
yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, no, he's. Have you ever seen? I'm trying to find where it is on my phone. There was a film he did about a poet. Kill Your Darlings.
Oh right.
Where he played Allen Ginsberg.
I didn't see it.
Yeah,
No.
That is a really good film.
Yeah.
And again, it's completely different.
Yeah, I saw the trailer to it, and it looked very different for
Yeah,
For
it's
him.
a completely different character to what you would normally play, and it kind of has the shock value in that he plays a gay character and all of that sort of thing. But it's not played up to be that, because I think this is where a lot of people go wrong when they come from like child parts where they're very innocent and they instantly go for the shock value to kind of move into the adult world. And I feel he kind of eased into it, and then did this thing which is not necessarily that shocking because it's not particularly graphic or anything else like that, but it's enough to be like, this is a completely different person.
Yeah.
And then he's mixed that up with things like What If. I don't know if you ever see that. That is
Yeah, the
amazing.
rom-com.
I love that comedy. It's amazing. It's really, really funny.
Is that a romantic comedy?
touching. Yeah, it's a romantic comedy.
I remember
love
it.
It's one of my favourite rom-coms for a
He's
few
just
years.
been very clever.
And again, a
in
very
the-
different character.
He's just been very clever in the roles that he picks
Yeah.
and stuff, and you can tell he's had a lot of mentoring
Mm-hmm.
while he was in Butter with, you know what I mean, like every
the
one of
genius.
his co-stars, older co-stars, from Gary Oldman to Alan Rickman and stuff, has always spoke about how he quizzed them about their way of acting and stuff. You know what I mean? And you just hear a lot of stuff about him and everything but positive. And when he's on talk shows and stuff, you know what I mean, he lords it up. He's a professional dude, man. Same time, I hear what you're saying about the fans thing and stuff, but you know what? Potter's his baby. I see him coming back, personally. And even if he didn't want to, Warners are not going to let that one go. You know what I mean?
Or
They're
they can't.
not, but this is where I think it would be the shame. They won't let it go. I think they'll want him to come back.
Oh yeah,
Of course
definitely.
they will.
Warner Brothers will.
They want to keep it
I think
consistent.
it'd be a shame.
Yeah.
I think they could get away with recasting Emma Watson.
Yeah.
Um,
She's probably the one I don't see coming back because she wanted out. When
Yeah,
they had to
yeah.
get the,
Yeah, she wasn't sure whether she was going to do the end.
yeah, that was right. The last couple of movies, she was the one, like, on the contract negotiations, like, yeah, not sure. Whereas the other two boys were like, yes, immediately. You know? So, she's probably done with it. Ron Weasley, I don't know his real name, I've forgotten his name now. I haven't seen him in the film for years. You know, he started off doing, like...
Yeah, he did
you know,
a few really good indie films.
Yeah, and then
it
he
doesn't
just
really have much
disappeared.
sense.
So he's probably most definitely going to come back. But this is the thing. I think with Harry Potter, give it a rest. If they are going to make him return when he's 35 and stuff, because we know she's writing more books, okay? I'm assuming he's going to be a lot older. I wouldn't, you know, if they do the Star Wars thing where you leave it at bay for like a decade or 2 decades or so.
Yeah, that'd be
Then-
better than just...
Yeah, then just bringing it out. Let's concentrate on these mysterious, whatever they are, films that they're doing at the moment, and then leave it dormant for a bit, because it worked for Star Wars. You know what I mean? You leave it for a decade, the interest comes back because they're like, oh yeah, remember those films? Oh, the other ones weren't so good, but let's go check it out anyway. You know what I mean? It becomes myth, legend, the legacy's there. You know what I mean? Makes people hungry again. You whop it out straight afterwards. You know, I still think it's way too soon. You know, from
God, yeah.
the
Far
original.
too soon.
From the original Harry Potters. But, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, you know, I think they know that. And the other thing, more importantly, I think JK knows that. Because she was smart when she got involved in these films. She would only sell that book to the right people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when Steven Spielberg came with his take, he wanted to adapt like 3 of the novels in one film. And she was like, no, like, I like Spielberg, but that's not what it is. You know what I mean? And they reined it back and got Christopher Columbus, which I felt his take was a bit too close to the source material. He didn't, you know, for me, those first 2 films were long and boring. You know what I mean? And, but the third one...
Is that Alfonso?
Yeah. The third one onwards for me is when I kind of like them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan. Like, I've had multiple ex-girlfriends that was their shit. You know what I mean? And they hate the later films because they cut out so much. But at the same time, that's why it's a film adaptation. You got to make the film work for the mass audience.
Yeah.
Which is, say, you and me. You know what I mean? Those first 2 films had pacing issues. Humongous pacing issues. But the guys that like the novels, they loved them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I just say you know, as long as it's paced out and not done immediately, then fine. Let us get over Potter fever or whatever.
Well, yeah. If he comes back or not, I'm sure whenever these books are written and or Warner Brothers says, okay, time to make these again, yeah, they'll be at his door. He'll be the first person they ask. And I think on the catalyst, on the back of him joining, they'll try and get the other cast members back.
Yeah.
But, okay, so on to the next story. So Samuel L. Jackson says that Mace Windu's still alive. I love Samuel L. Jackson because no matter what, he'll just saying that, yep, still alive.
No.
He was quoted in saying that in episode 3 when he whatever happened to his character, he fell from a great height, but he also said that Jedis can land from a great height. So
Also, he really wants to play with a lightsaber again.
yeah. And
To be fair, if I was Samuel L. Jackson, I'd be doing the same thing right now.
But he's so
Of course I'm still alive. What are you talking about? Put me in a film.
That's what I mean. He's so casual about it, and he's more or less saying that. Yeah.
As a big Star Wars fan, like I agree, and George Lucas has agreed with him. He's like, he probably could survive that.
To be honest, George Lucas is going to agree with anyone says that at this point.
As a fan, like I think he could survive, but another part of me is like, I would really like someone to do a viral video of getting that bit where he's thrown out and then follow the body and get hit by one of those flying taxi cabs. Almost like a Family Guy kind of death kind of thing. It'd be like, oh, he's not coming back from that. But aside from that, if he was going to show up in episode 8, that would make Mace Windu easily about 100. Depending how young...
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, depending how young Samuel L. Jackson was playing him in Revenge of the Sith. Because I don't think Samuel L. Jackson in those 3 prequels looked like he aged a day from any of his films in the 90s. But then when you see him in interviews now, it's like, wow, you're old. You know what I mean?
Yes, because he's...
Because he is old. Because he is old. But he'd be at least like 90 or 100 in episode 8.
Yeah, he's not old enough to really be his character, I guess.
Yeah.
But then it's not
Ghost.
exactly based in realism, is it?
Yeah.
No,
Ghost Windu. Ghost Windu.
Space.
Yeah.
They can make him a ghost. He died of old age, like way back when, and they can make him a ghost.
Yeah, that's
There you go.
he could still be a Force ghost.
He
and
can be a Force ghost.
And I'm sure he'll be happy with that.
Yeah.
I want to bring this up because I saw him on the Tonight Show, and he was talking to Stephen Colbert, and he was just so casual about, yeah, I'm still alive.
Obviously.
Jedis can land from a great height. I'm still alive. I want to be in the next film. I'm pretty sure Samuel Jackson's very he's in cahoots with Disney, so
Nah.
you never know
Do
what will
anything.
happen. Yeah, I'm sure he will. Okay, so on from this onto sticking with the Star Wars thing. James Cameron had something to say about Episode 7.
What did he say? I haven't...
Oh, okay. So basically, someone asked him in an interview what he thought about it, and he said he was very political about it. He said that he doesn't want to say too much because he's friends with JJ and he's friends with.
So
George
basically,
Lucas.
he thinks it's shit, but he doesn't want to say it because he's friends with JJ. Yeah, when you say I don't want to say too much because I'm friends with this person, that means you kind of want to say a bad thing, but you can because you're friends. Like if you wanted to say something good, the fact that you're friends with them is not going to make any difference. Like you'd still say it.
Yeah, and
So
that's,
you know where he's going with that.
From what he's, because he's quite a blunt fellow, and what he said about it, he basically said that what George Lucas did with the prequels had more scope to what this new film had, purely because George Lucas had more imagination. He grew the world a bit bigger, and this one is fan service, and he's technically right.
But one of those films is good and the other 3 are not. So
yeah, I think
none of them was done well. Whether it's fan service or not.
I think what he's talking about in the grand scheme of things, JJ was, the story was told. Again, I think it was a little bit of fan service, but at the same time, it had a good story. It was a. That's the wrong.
Which is the line you kind of want to go along, though. I mean, let's face it. The reason why Star Wars has done so well is because of the fans.
Yeah.
If you're gonna then, which I think a lot of prequels actually did is just ignore everything that the fans wanted and just go, well, this is what I think is artistically the best thing to do. You're going to piss a lot of people off because I'm sorry, as artistic as films can be, as artistic as a lot of things can be, they are made for an audience. If your audience doesn't like it, it's not really made for its purpose, is it?
Yeah.
So, like, as much as I like the kind of going a different route and not doing the same thing over and over and over again, at the same time you need to stick with something.
Yeah, stick with the conventions that your audience like.
That people love, and that's what I think this film did. I think it progressed from the last decent ones that they did, but it didn't go so far from it that people were like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Which is what a lot of them did with the prequels.
Yeah, and I think because of the type of filmmaker George Lucas is, I think, and why he sold his company to Disney, because he doesn't want to be constrained by he didn't want to be constrained by the thing he created, and he wanted to go that way with it, and everyone wanted to go that way with it. It was the fact that, well, this is what happens, but everyone said, oh, I don't like that.
There's also the thing, if you want to go completely a different way with a film, don't make it a sequel. Make it a completely different film in its own right. Do you have to name it the same thing? Like, if he wants to go a completely different way with the original idea that he had of Star Wars, but not have any of the same characters in it, and go a completely different way and have completely different everything in it, does it need to even be related to Star Wars?
Well, I guess that was the type of filmmaker he was, if I'm not right.
What's that?
George, because considering the films that he made in his earlier day, when he became a filmmaker,
he was very much experimental filmmaker. Even Star Wars: A New Hope's an experimental filmmaking. I mean, like, look at the first 20 minutes of that film. There's barely any dialogue except for when Darth Vader comes in. You know, you've got the droids. You know, your main protagonists at that point are two robots. You know what I mean? For the first 20 minutes of the film. He's very much a visual storyteller. Look at THX 1138. That's all visual storytelling right there. That's a George Lucas film. Then when it came to the prequels and stuff, it was more dialogue, go from A to B kind of thing, which he's not very good at. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we had the ideas on. Now, here's the thing, okay, very much so, and I've said this time and time again, the comments Lucas had made before he'd even seen episode 7 was like, I think they're going a different direction with it than what he wanted to do, because, you know, XYZ, he's seen the movie and he has since said that, okay, although, you know, a lot of it was their own stuff, there are still one or two ideas from his original draft, which a lot more of his stuff is being put in episode 8 as it's being filmed right now. They haven't completely shelved this idea. Kathleen Kennedy has gone on the record of saying that. They've just fleshed it out a bit more, and put it this way.
Well, that's what he needed.
Yeah,
he
exactly.
needed someone to look. Yeah. George,
it's still,
the story's great, but you need someone to write
and
this week.
That's exactly what they've done there. They haven't gone away from the original stuff. Even look at Star Wars Rebels. Dave Filoni and his team are a testament to the temple of George Lucas. You know what I mean? They worked with him every day for like 9 years on the Clone Wars, so they know how he thinks about stuff. So, and the main reason why he sold the company is because his experimental films that he wanted to make were potentially going to bankrupt the company in some kind of way. And he had all of these friends and colleagues that he'd worked with for 30 years.
Is that because it took years to get Red Tails?
Yeah, because it took years to get Red Tails out, and it bombed at the box office. If he carried on making films like that, gambling on the livelihood of his men, you know what I mean? That's their lives. The company goes down, they have no jobs. So giving it to Disney wasn't just a money-making thing, because he didn't keep the $4 billion.
Yeah, I know.
He gave that to charity.
Yeah.
He gave all of that money away to charity. He's still making money off the merchandise now.
Oh, he built this
museum.
No, not even the museum.
Yeah.
Do you know where his ranch is?
Yeah.
He built this whole almost like a university, so people that in minorities could have the same opportunities that rich people have.
That's right.
And so he's built that whole facility.
So that's just it. He's just got, you know, George Lucas is at this point as a filmmaker where he's just doing what he wants. in his own backyard. He's got the technology to do so, and if he wants one of his mates or a famous actor, he'll just be, yeah, George Lucas on the line, want to be in a film that no one will see, come around my house and we'll film it. That's literally where he's at, okay? He doesn't have to worry about money, he doesn't really have to do anything, he's just doing what he wants to do. You know what I mean? Had he have put it out in theatres, it would have cost money, maybe would have even bankrupted the company, and it's like, fine, there'll be more Star Wars films and these guys still have jobs. You know what I mean? And that's kind of a noble thing in a way when you look at it that way. But the point of the matter is, James Cameron didn't like Episode 7. Let's stay on target on that. Good for him. This is the guy that endorsed Terminator Genesis to me.
Genesis?
That's what I call it. It's in the
Okay.
spelling, okay? Okay, but like, come on, man. What a crock of shit, James.
No, actually,
Seriously.
no, he didn't actually say anything.
Yes, he did.
No.
There was a whole spiel on it.
Yes,
There's a
I know
video.
there was, but he was very careful with his language. He said, if you like Terminator, you'll like this film. He didn't say it was good.
I need to rewatch it again. But
To be fair, I
Yeah.
couldn't give a flying crap.
There you go.
Things about Star Wars. Like,
Yeah.
why is he even
Yeah.
weighing it? Like, who cares
Yeah.
what he thinks? Did he make, like,
I don't-
you've got nothing to do with this
Ma-
film? Like,
Yeah.
do you...
To be honest,
Oh, right.
maybe he was asked to direct one.
no, maybe it was just a normal
Well, maybe
opinion
he
by a
wasn't, and that's where the
fanboy
issues
on
come
the carpet and just go, what did you think of this? And he just gave his honest opinion.
Yeah,
Either
this
way-
sounds more like a mistake in a conversation. Like,
Yeah.
just not remembering that you're as famous as you are. And just going, well...
Plus, anyway,
alright.
like,
Yeah.
this is James Cameron. He's the king of the world. He's like, he's a bit more professional than that. And plus, okay, fair enough. Even if he did say,
He's very blunt though.
even if he did say
He's a
it,
bit
so
of a
what?
bitch sometimes.
Even if he did say it, so what? We've got a movie podcast there, and we've been bitching about films all day.
Yeah, or but generally nobody cares what
You know what I
he
mean?
says.
Yeah, but I know, but it's only a big deal because James Cameron said it.
Yeah, no, exactly.
That's the only
And,
reason why
if
it's
you,
news.
If you don't really give a crap
Yeah.
what James Cameron's impression is of a film, like if you like the film, you like the film.
Yeah,
Who cares
exactly.
what somebody else thinks about it?
Exactly.
I think because it was a thing, because this happened a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
It oh my god, James! Did you hear what James Cameron said about Star Wars? It's like, because James Cameron is James Cameron. If it was any other director like who's that one that always is bad-mouthing Spielberg and
Uwe Boyle.
Uwe Boll. If it was Uwe, have you ever heard of Uwe Boll?
No.
Okay, so Uwe Boll.
You should look up this guy. He's a
Uwe-
psychopath.
Uwe Boll is a German
Bitter.
director who I don't know where he gets his wealth from, but he
He's
seems
rich
to have.
anyway.
Sorry.
At the
rich
time,
man, right.
he was rich already
Yeah.
and just decided, I want to do movies. And the other thing is,
the
in
best
Germany,
type of director.
in Germany, there's like a tax thing where, if you make a movie, even if it bombs, they'll refund you the money back.
Totes going to Germany and making a film.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know how it works, but there's a big tax loophole that used to be there, which is why
One
he
goddamn country.
did so many films that he did. But yeah, he's the kind of director where, since the internet,
Is he like
Got-
Ed Wood?
no, because
Actually he is.
no, because Ed Wood knew his films were
Terrible.
rubbish.
Yeah, actually.
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
you're right,
and,
yeah.
and he took it. Ed Wood was passionate about making shit films. Not that he saw
I
them.
really enjoyed
not
making
that,
shit
Not that he saw them as shit films, but when he got a critic, he didn't cry about it. He just went out and made another one. Uwe Boll was the biggest crybaby ever. I'll give you an
Yeah.
example of his antics. Okay, so when the internet got as big as it was and social media is as big as it is, he started seeing how much people hated his actual movies that he actually deemed as masterpieces. And
I love it when people deem their own stuff as masterpieces.
what he did, he used to do the worst kind of filmmaking. He used to take video game movies and make video game movies and really shit video game movies. Like, not video games, but making video game
He single-handedly
movies really badly.
ended Stephen Dorff's career.
Yeah, I know.
I wondered where Stephen Dorff went. It was this dude. Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, someone said it. A whole load of people said his movies were shit. So he turned around and he said, "Okay." He turned around and said, "Okay, I'm going to hold a charity boxing match. Whoever says my movie is shit, I'm going to fly them over to Germany and
He's gonna
they'll
fight
get
them.
to fight me in the boxing."
I would totally take that. I haven't even seen
You
his
would.
movies.
You
I'd
would.
still say they were
Okay,
shit
okay,
just so I could go and fight him.
Okay, now here's the catch. He knows it's going to be a whole load of keyboard warriors. He's a trained boxer.
Yeah.
So all these guys went over there, got in the ring, and he beat them up.
I'd still kick his ass.
He actually beat them up.
I
I
believe her.
would kick his ass.
And there was actually YouTube footage of these guys lining up. Yeah, I'll be. Whoa, is that him? Yeah, you just got into a ring with a complete psychopath, and he beat them up. And then. What was it? He'd get upset.
He hates Spielberg and Michael Bay.
Bay,
But
and-
Michael Bay had
Everybody
the,
hates Michael Bay.
Michael
That's
Bay-
not
Michael
true.
Bay had the
But
best
Michael Bay
return.
Because here's the thing, he did a full rant on George Clooney, Michael Bay about how cliche their movies was, how shit they were, and he goes, my movies are better, they're this, they're amazing, you like that Hollywood Michael Bay bullshit, blah 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 blah. And then someone interviewed Michael Bay, they're like, so what do you think about Uber Boyle's comments on you? It's like, who's Uber Boyle?
Exactly.
Like literally, like, who's Uber Boyle? Some director, blah blah.
It's the blank face of it. It's like,
Yeah.
who's your boy?
Like literally, like, who is he? And then it was like, oh, he hates your movies, and he goes, well, tell him to get in line. And I was just like, you know what, Michael Bay?
The only time I've ever liked Michael Bay.
I was like, Michael Bay, you are awesome. Now go and direct normal action movies and not
Don't do
Transformers
something good.
movies.
Well, yeah, okay, well, I'm going to move on from that now. But yeah, going on from episode 7 to Stephen King's It.
One of my favourite subjects.
There you go.
Yay! Another
okay.
Stephen King film.
So Stephen King, not Stephen King, but this book,
Words, Joseph, words.
the book It is being adapted to screen for the first time.
It's already been adapted to screen though. It's,
TV movie.
Yeah.
but-
Technically, it's not cinema, but it's
it's still good.
it's got Ritter in it.
Well,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, I forgot who played it now.
Oh God! It was Oh my God, that's gonna really annoy me. I have to look this up now. Tim Curry.
Tim Curry,
There
yes,
we go.
yes, right.
Without the use of the phone, I'm very
so-
proud.
So the actors that I remember from it is John Boy and Tim
What,
Curry.
from the Waltons?
Yeah, John Boy he's always going to be known as John Boy. And, so basically, Tim Curry was the scariest thing.
He works so well for that part.
I know.
Yeah.
It's the.
He looks like every person's nightmare.
Yes, he really. And the thing is, the
Until he did Home Alone.
No, he was still every person's nightmare.
not even that. I mean, even the clown. He put a lot of otherworldly shit into that character because there's a scene that I remember vividly because I think I was around 8 when I saw it. There's a picture that the kids are looking at and it comes to life, and he's a clown in the background, and he just goes. And he runs up right to the edge of the frame, and he goes, like, he just does this face, and he said something about your nightmares, and so I can't remember what it was, but it scared that crap out of me. The way he portrayed that character as the clown made me. I'm forever scared of clowns now.
I think that a lot of people are after that TV show. I think the thing is that you've got to remember about it, and this is why I think Tim Curry was so good at this part, is because it is not necessarily a clown.
Yes, it's an entity or something.
He is an entity of everything that you fear.
Yeah.
And the clown is used because it's what kids look at and feel friendliness towards.
Yeah.
And then he changes into something else once they get close to it. Like if you read the very first chapter of the book, it's a very small child, 6-year-old child that's chasing a paper boat down a stream, and it goes into a drain, and he comes to try and get the boat out, and he sees these yellow eyes in the bottom of this drain thing, and it's what he always fears when he goes down to the cellar in his house, and it's the fear of the monster that's in the dark. And he kind of draws back from it, and then he looks at it again, and it's a clown. It's something that he remembers from TV shows and God knows what else, and he gets lured into by this friendly clown, who then instantly, when he gets close to it, snatches him and turns back into the evil thing that he fears from the cellar. It is everything that you fear.
Yeah.
But he also disguises himself as something that you love.
Something
so because he
comforting
preys
to
on
draw you
children
in.
an awful lot, he tends to be the clown, and that's what they latched on with the TV show.
TV
but
show.
he's not necessarily a clown.
Yeah.
Because he's anything. So this is why Tim Curry was so good at this, is because he's very, very good at playing something that outwardly seems very nice, but has this underlay of...
Yeah.
Like, with Tim Curry, you could see him playing the nicest, happiest clown in the world and being the most evil, murderous, horrible human being at the like, and switching like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Which he's... I don't know who they're going to get to play it in this next thing. God knows what.
Are you going to fill us in on
Is
that?
there any kind of casting news on it?
No.
God damn it.
Not that I can see.
You know, I was reading...
Other than it's by the director of Mama.
Right,
Okay. So I was reading the book again. I've started reading the book again just because I heard this was coming out and I got really excited.
Oh,
And the first chapter, I was saying to you guys earlier, it kind of plays as a movie in itself. It kind of writes itself, and I don't think you need to change that. It flips and changes between this little boy running down the street after his boat and kind of the last time he spent with his family, where his older brother makes him the boat, and this is a guy that ends up kind of being all the way through the story. But it flips and changes. So he's chasing the boat, and then it flips back to when the kid is making it, and his fear of the cellar and all of this sort of stuff. And that is really, really cleverly written. Oh my god, he's very young. Pennywise is played by Bill Skarsgard. Pennywise is the clown, as far as I remember.
Yeah,
He's
it's Caine, yeah.
Who Bill Skarsgård? I recognise him vaguely, but can't think what from.
Is he related to the guy...
Alexander
Skarsgård and his father, possibly.
maybe. He's got the same kind of accent above the A.
Yeah, it's not spelled the same there, is it? I don't think it is spelled the same. He doesn't say anything about him being related to him. But either way, that's quite a young...
He was in Allegiant, and he was in the Divergent series.
The detergent series, okay.
This has got a lot of very young, very unknown actors. Hang on, they have the older ones though. Still very unknown actors. There's there's no names in it. Which is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, because I mean, he can still get away with playing that count. That he can still get away with playing it and still have a separate performance. What am I trying to say here? So you're an actress. So if you're going to play something that was well known, but have a bunch of makeup on you, and would you see that as an opportunity to go all in and do something?
Well, that particular character, the Pennywise character, is golden because you can do anything with that. I mean, even in the book, there's no real. All it really tells you is he is your nightmare.
Right.
But then can also be the most charming, nicest thing. So that could be anything. It's whatever somebody in particular sees it as. And I've looked at that going, oh, he's very young, but that's because I'm picturing Tim Curry, and there's no reason why it doesn't mention his age in the book. You have no idea because it's not a real human being. It's it. So there's no reason why he particularly has to be any age at all. So, but I mean that's fine. I'm hoping this guy is a good actor and he can pull it off. It's one of those things that it doesn't necessarily... I mean, I've looked through this cast list and going, there's no real names in it, but then at the same time, does it need names? Because it's a Stephen King film.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who Stephen King is. Everybody knows what it is.
Yeah,
Like, even if you haven't read the books, you've heard it.
Yeah, the property's more famous than any of the
So you don't necessarily... So this is one of those options where actually a big Hollywood film can have the unknown actors and get somebody different in.
Yeah.
Because they've got what's going to sell the movie already.
Yeah.
I hope it's a good film because it's an amazing book. It's the longest book in the history of man, as you've seen from looking. It is so big. Apart from the Dark Tower ones, which are even longer.
Oh yeah, jeez, yeah.
Oh my God. I saw pictures from that the other day as well. They had these pictures of Matthew McConaughey and Idris Elba when they're filming Dark Towers. Matthew McConaughey looks...
He looks weird. That haircut, that black hair.
Yeah, but he plays the Dark Man, who is essentially evil. He's not someone who is evil. He is evil.
Right.
So, I mean, that kind of works. I'd like to see how he does that.
Yeah.
I hope he does it. I mean, Matthew McConaughey is another one of those ones that when he does a generic character, it's bollocks. But when he actually pushes himself, he's very, very good. So I'm hoping he does he does with it. I mean, it's just shaping up to look like it. And Stephen King himself is, if you look at his Twitter, he's very excited about it.
Yeah, because people have been trying to get that film off the ground for
And
years.
he's been protecting it for quite some time because he's been burned quite a few times. He's still one that agrees with me in that he doesn't like The Shining.
Ooh.
I don't like The Shining. I love the book. I hate the film.
I tell you one
I
aspect
think it's
of
shock value.
what I think what I like about it is what is wrong with that? Jack Nicholson. So
Jack Nicholson is the thing that saves that film.
yes,
He's the only.
because I can't stand his wife in it.
And that, I think, is more a case of she's been pushed by the director to be whiny and. I think I genuinely think what you're watching there is a woman who's actually having a nervous breakdown.
Wow.
Because he pushed her so far. The stories that come out of the making of that film, you know, the scene where Jack Nicholson is kind of following her up the stairs, like the main stairs, and then she's swiping a knife at him and crying hysterically.
Yeah.
That scene apparently was done so many times that she was so exhausted and just genuinely didn't know why she was still doing it, genuinely didn't know what was going on, and so stressed out and tired and God knows what else, that she was, like, that was not acting. She was genuinely hysterical.
Wow.
Because she didn't know what she was doing. That is a case of someone has pushed her so much that she is essentially being tortured.
Holy
for
cow.
a film. Which is what pisses me off about directors like that. Who's like, you're still dealing with human beings and we're actors for a reason and we can pretend. That's the point. If you want to do it for real, then you're just a bit of a psychopath.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's not the point of that film. It's really not.
Yeah.
It's not the point of that story.
It's one of the things that you remember because she comes across as so annoying in the film.
Yeah, I've said it before. I want to kill her. Like, I kind of agree with Jack Nicholson that she's so whiny and annoying. But I feel like now I've heard more stories about it. And
Yeah,
maybe she isn't actually that whiny and annoying.
Feel
It's
sorry
just
for
that
her.
she's having a nervous breakdown on camera.
Wow,
And
that's insane.
That's mean.
So Ed Harris was going to knock out. No, he did punch James Cameron. He said, "I'll never work on this on any of his movies again."
He's another one that's got a bad reputation for pushing people too far
He
and
pushed-
not
what's her
remembering that they're
face?
human beings.
What's her name? I can't.
Wasn't it Kate Winslet that said she never wanted to work on a film with him again?
It's well.
I think a few people have said it.
Yeah, it's probably that actress as well. Who was in The Abyss?
James Cameron.
No,
Ed Harris.
the female. I can't remember her name.
Oh, Mary Elizabeth. Yeah. Anyway.
Winstead.
Yeah.
Mary Elizabeth. Mastran.
Okay, a name that Joe can pronounce.
Can't pronounce it.
Let me have a look. What did it say?
I think it's
Mary
Italian.
Elizabeth Mastrantonio.
Okay, Mastrantonio. Okay.
No idea who she is, but still.
So, yes.
Oh no, I do recognise her.
Yeah, she was in Prince of Thieves as well.
Moved it there.
Yeah, so she had a hard time because that's that scene where she drowns. He's trying to get a particular type of performance on it, and he kept doing it again and again and again. I think he was smacking her around or something. I'm not sure about that, but he was really, really violent towards her.
It's the problem with a lot of directors that you get, that there is a very fine line between artistic talent and just a bit of a psycho.
Mm.
And directors have an awful lot of power in those situations in which they can push things farther than they necessarily. I mean, if you look at a manager in any other business circumstance, they would never get away with doing those things.
Yeah.
But it's an artistic situation, and they claim that they're doing it to get the part. They don't trust the actor to be able to act their way into those parts, which is, I mean, what you've got to understand at the end of the day is actors are doing things that aren't real. Everybody knows they're not real. They're pretending to do it. It is not. This is where method and everything else is very, very dangerous. In that if you start to believe that it's real, you can fuck yourself up royally. Which, and I've got nothing against anybody that does method acting. Daniel Day-Lewis has obviously worked it to within an inch of his life, and he's very, very good at it. But you've got to be very, very careful with those things. And I think that's what a lot of directors forget. Instead of trusting the actor to be able to act, they push over the top and go, well, I'm going to genuinely make them feel like that. And the situations that characters feel like in films are not necessarily what you want to genuinely make someone feel like. And it's the same with The Shining and everything else. If you're genuinely making them fear for their life, just to get a decent reaction. She should be able to act that, and I have no doubt that she can act that. That's why she won the part in the first place. If you then don't trust her and make her genuinely, like, it's not a psychology lesson, it's acting, and you are essentially abusing someone to get your art out of them without their go-ahead. They haven't said, like, I mean, there are times when people get together and go, okay, I really want you to push me this far. I really want you to do these things. And if it's like that, go for it. Mm-hmm. But when they don't know that it's happening and you're just pushing them that far, you've stopped making art and you've just started making a bit of a torture film.
You've crossed the line.
Yeah. Actors are actors.
Yeah.
This is the point. It's not real.
Yeah.
It's a film. It's not real. Or it's theatre. It's not real.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess because you're in that world so often, you're...
Yeah, and I've been on both sides of that as well. I've been on the, you need to make it as real as possible, and I've been on the, I mean, you can go the other way as well, where someone is trying to get into their character, and they're trying to think, why is this person acting that way? And it's very, very helpful to actors to know exactly what they're doing, why they're doing that way, so that they can go along with their character. And you get some directors that are just like, oh, I don't know, just fucking act. And they give you no time to figure it out or do anything else with it. So you need to kind of get the happy medium of, okay, well, we'll let you do a little bit with it, but let's not pretend it's real all at the same time. You need the middle ground. But there tends to be directors that are in the extreme.
Yeah, well, anyway, we've
it seems good.
Yeah.
As long as you don't have anybody torturing the actors.
Well, it looks like it's in good hands. I liked Mama. I've seen it. It's light, but I think just the way it's structured, it has. I think the director has the capability of doing something as dark as it. It's. Again, we'll just have to wait and see until the production actually starts on it, and we start to see pictures and news coming out of it. We'll be able to build a picture of what we're going to see on the screen.
I'm hoping they don't fall into the same trap as a lot of Stephen King things as well. I was talking to my dad about this earlier today, actually, and we were talking about the fact that most Stephen King films get classed as horror movies. And if you read the books, they're not necessarily horror. They're fantasy. I would describe most of them more as a thriller than a horror. The majority of them are more thriller. It is probably the closest one to an actual horror than most films are, but they tend to just kind of automatically go down the route of... I mean, Cujo was made into a horror for quite a good reason. It's only really a thriller if you can see it from the dog's point of view, and unless you do a dodgy voiceover, that's not going to work. So that kind of had to be more horror, but I think a lot of the rest of them, they have kind of veered towards this is just terrifying and gruesome, which most Stephen King is not really terrifying. Like, it's scary, it gets you on the edge of your seat, but I wouldn't class it as a horror at all.
So
it is very much the fine line between it's right in between thriller and horror, which I don't think it's not quite either one of them. Kind of straddles the line. I think a lot of the Stephen King ones are more thriller, but I think this one is the one closest to the line of it. But it's not a straight up horror. It's not Scream.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Well, would you cast any of his books as supernatural?
Oh yeah, mate. A lot of them are. Like, have you ever read Desperation?
No.
That's an amazing book. It's one of my favorite Stephen King books ever. And that is it. I mean, it's based around the idea of something that is essentially the devil. But he's got into, he gets into a person at the start, and he flips from one person to another, depending on how the body is working. So if that body dies, he flips into another one. And it's kind of all about his journey and how he takes over this certain area in America. And that is very supernatural. A lot of them are kind of beings that you don't understand.
Yeah.
And kind of fantasy supernatural stuff. Even things that you haven't really heard of. Like, there's a book called Rose Madder that he wrote, which is about a woman who runs away from her husband, who's a policeman but also incredibly violent and abusive. And she runs away from him and starts her life in another town, and then buys a picture from a charity shop and finds out that you can climb into the picture.
Oh, wow.
And she climbs into the picture and has her entire life within that picture. And the picture is a woman in ancient Greek times, and there's a minotaur, and she kind of goes in and has to go into this maze thing.
Holy cow.
Fight a Minotaur, and it goes fully into that, which is what most Stephen King stuff is. It's fantasy and it's mythology and it's a lot of supernatural stuff.
I guess would you say the reason he's classed as horror is because most of...
I think he's accidentally scary. I don't think he means to be scary. I think that's the way his brain goes. I think if you look at the sort of situations that he brings up of like, okay, what if this happened? They tend to end up being scary rather than he's actively trying to make something scary. It's just one of his short stories is a small child goes into a block of toilets in their school and there's a tiger randomly. Then he has to try and get out of the toilet cubicle without being eaten by a tiger. So like there's things like that where he just, this is the way that his brain goes. He kind of thinks of these fantasy things that are a little bit off the wall, but the way that it would naturally be in that situation is, okay, what if this happened? Well, it would actually be quite terrifying. So I don't think he actively sets out to make fantasy kind of things, and they end up being terrifying because that's his brain and he needs professional help. Well, but I love you, Stephen King, so it's fine. You can carry on needing professional help.
Well, and I guess the two films that are being adapted now, this and Dark Tower.
Dark Tower is not particularly scary.
Well, no, it doesn't sound. I mean, I've never read it, but from what I know about it, it doesn't seem scary. It's more.
There are bits of it that are, but it's not.
It sounds like a thriller.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd say it's more fantasy.
Yeah, it's like fantasy thriller than it is. It's not really a horror.
Okay, well, again, in the next couple of years, we're going to be Stephen King'd.
I've always been Stephen King. Another thing that's a verb now.
Yes. Look out for it coming next year. So that's the end of the news topics. Yeah, that was a long one, folks. But
it always is with me on it. I talk too much.
No,
I say I'm sorry about it.
No, it's cool. It's awesome. I like it. Okay, so we're going to our next segment, Old But New, and this week, Mel's Old But New, or Mel's going to talk about Old But New, and so I'll pass the reins to Mel.
So you remember that? Have you watched the one I did last time? No.
Have I watched?
Cares. Nobody cares that I was talking about last time.
No, I haven't watched that yet. No.
Honestly, So anyway, that's on your list. But to go a completely different way, the one I've decided to talk about today is a film called Stuart, A Life Backwards, which I don't remember the year of it, but it was originally, again, I think a TV movie rather than an actual feature film. And it stars Tom Hardy and Benedict Cumberbatch before they were Tom Hardy and Benedict Cumberbatch. And it is essentially, it's based on a true story and it's based on a book that was written by a very middle-class white English guy. And he comes across a homeless man almost by accident. He ends up taking part in this charity thing because he feels like he should do so. He's bored because he doesn't really have a job and he's kind of writing. He's trying to avoid it, so he starts taking part in kind of dealing with charities and dealing with the homeless. And then two of the people that he's working with within a homeless charity get arrested, and so he joins a campaign to make to try and free these two people because they've been arrested wrongly and been sent to jail wrongly. And another person that joins this campaign is Stuart, who is a homeless guy who suffers from muscular dystrophy and also from alcoholism and drug addiction and God knows what else. And he is every homeless guy you've seen on the street ever. You know, the drunk guy that's shouting in absolute nonsense on somebody. He is that person, but at the same time, he is a person. Mm-hmm. And that's where it becomes really... just a really great film, as it starts off as very much Benedict Cumberbatch's character, who is the writer, hates Stuart at the start. Absolutely hates him. He doesn't want to have anything to do with him, and he finds him embarrassing, and he thinks he's stupid and a druggie and a waste of space. And then as he gets to know him, he realizes that he's actually a very intelligent guy, a very funny guy, a very charming guy, and there's very good reasons why he is the way he is. and it's not necessarily things that have been perpetuated by himself. So basically, the whole idea of the film is as he gets to know him, he decides that actually he would like to write a book about him, and it is Stuart's idea that he should write it backwards from where he is now to the beginning, because it would be like a Tom Clancy novel. Don't know where that came from, but yeah, he said this is the idea. It's one of those films that it's very underrated. As I say, it's a film that was done before Tom Hardy or Benedict Cumberbatch were particularly famous.
Yeah.
So not a lot of people have seen it. I mention it to a lot of people because I love it, and a lot of people go, "What? I'm sorry, what is this film called?"
Well, that's good. You're getting it out there.
Well, yeah, exactly, and it's one of my favourite films of all time. I love it. I'm gonna throw my dad under the bus right now and tell you that he watched it, and he is the least emotional person I've ever met in my life.
Really?
He cried.
Wow.
He's chilled. He's really chilled. Like, he'll find something funny, but then he'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's vaguely sad," and not really about that.
Vaguely sad.
But this he got really emotional about because it is. I mean, it throws this. It's a very good mix between very, very funny, very, very charming, and very, very hard hitting, and serious. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they've got those two actors who both have a very good chemistry between each other. Like, they're obviously very good friends. They have amazing chemistry, but at the same time are very, very good actors. Mm. They play these characters perfectly. Yeah. And by the end of it, you're kind of a ball of mess but laughing at the same time. It's a very confusing film. You don't know what you're supposed to think.
It plays with your emotions.
Yeah. And it's very realistic, and it makes you look at people in real life very, very differently. Mm. And it's almost one of those films that I wish everyone saw. Mm-hmm. Because you get a lot of judgment of certain types of people. Yeah, but it would be nice that they saw the other side of it.
But do you think sometimes films like these, sometimes it's better to recommend a film like this face to face with a person, in the sense that you could explain the premise to them and then they can go away and watch it. In this, or I mean, you say if it was more popular, do you think that would?
I don't think it ever would be more popular, and I don't think it necessarily should be more popular.
I'm not sure. What I'm trying to say is that because it's such a moving film, do you think if that film had been more popular back then, they would be further on in their careers in terms of the way they portrayed the characters, and they'll be more known for their acting ability earlier on, as opposed to, I mean, it was closer to 2000. So when did Tom Hardy become Tom Hardy? It was.
Oh, I don't know. It kind of started with the whole Bronson thing, didn't it? But he wasn't particularly big after that. Again, that was an indie film with no budget.
Yeah, that was like in 2008.
So that's what kind of got him known, but he wasn't a massive star at that point. And then Cumberbatch was really the Sherlock thing that started making him the star. I want to say they should be recognised more for that film, and I think they did incredibly good jobs in it. But at the same time, I'm glad it went the way that it did, because I think it's made them the actors that they are. Yeah. And I think both of them try and actively avoid doing the overly big franchisee. I mean, I know they both have done them. Yeah. But I think they try and avoid doing too much of the big Hollywood stuff, because I think they're both at heart actors. They want to do the interesting parts more than they want to make a shitload of money. And especially with Cumberbatch, like, he was a very successful actor before the show. He wasn't famous, but he was very, very successful. He had a decent living of doing all of his theatre and everything else, and I think that's what he was really happy with. There we go. He's gonna explain. It's amazing. So I think it kind of went the way it should have gone. I feel like it probably could have changed it a little bit. But then they were both playing very off-the-wall characters. They weren't playing normal people, so it was never going to make them Hollywood stars. Even if it had been more popular, it was... It's like Al Pacino in Dog Day Afternoon. Now it's a very well-known film. But it was never going to make him the star, because it is not that character.
It's part of their back catalogue that you can see that they were... You
can see their talent, but it's not the Hollywood.
Yeah, sure.
Hollywood thing behind it, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, excellent film.
Okay.
I will watch it until I'm blue in the face.
Okay, well, thank you, Mel, and you can find that anywhere where you find films these days, or DVD, Blu-ray, streaming, wherever you can find it. I'll put something in the description so you can be helped with that. Okay, so on to the next segment. Films opening this week in the UK. So the first film is The Neon Demon, which is a Nicolas Winding Refn film. If you're not familiar with this guy's films, they're very out there. If you've seen only good, if the first film you were introduced to his films on were Only God Forgives, then I feel sorry for you. But I would say.
Has everyone here seen that film?
I've seen it, yeah.
I still haven't seen it.
Okay, I'm still making my mind up. Okay,
It's so
I
weird.
don't regret the experience though. You know what I mean? Like,
It's
this
so
is why I
weird.
want to see it.
you're either gonna hate it and think it's dog shit, and if you do, I'm not gonna judge you.
I feel
You know
like
what I
I'm
mean?
gonna love it.
But
Yeah,
I'm
you
still
probably will.
I'm still debating whether I liked it or not, because I still think that was dog shit. But at the same time, I think that's brilliant.
It's trippy because
Yeah.
you don't know what's real and what isn't, because without spoiling the film too much, one of the antagonists, he just pulls a sword out of nowhere, and he kills you, and so he's almost like a demon or something. I've not made a distinction of what this character actually is in the film, because he's a police officer, but
Yeah.
every now and again he'll pull a sword out from nowhere and kill you.
This is exactly my sort of film. I'm already on board.
But yeah, otherwise,
Love
love Drive.
Yeah.
Because
Drive's
of,
awesome.
because of the last film, you're kind of like, well, let's see. But you know what? The trailer for this has been brilliant.
Neon Demon he's talking about now.
Yeah, the
that's
trailer
it,
looks
right.
brilliant.
It's very
I've got-
slick.
I've got that soundtrack from that
Demon
trailer in
Dance.
my head. That Demon Dance tune
Yeah.
in my head. I've had it in my head for the past couple of days, to be honest, because that's all they're playing in the back foyer of the cinema.
Right.
So I'm just like hearing it. Going, yeah.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, yeah. This. I couldn't really tell you what this film's about, but from the gist of what the trailer gives you, it's about what the fashion world is like for younger people.
I think it sways a little bit from the reality of the
Yeah.
industry.
Totally.
But I think it's probably a comment on the fashion industry more than it is a realistic portrayal of it. I think it's more because of this is the sort of world that these people live in.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
is what they have to deal with, because the main character is very much like she's lauded as this beautiful
Yeah,
creature
this
that's dangerous
great beauty.
in some way
Yeah.
because she's young and innocent and beautiful. And it goes down a bit of a weird route even in the trailer, but I think it's more of a comment on that sort of industry and that sort of world than it is anything else. And I love Drive. Hands up why I love
Yeah.
Drive.
I know
Joe's
exactly
already
why.
with
Why.
for other reasons. But also because of a particular actor. But yeah, I really want. As soon as I saw the trailer of this, and I love a good, just weird film where you kind of sit there and go, "What is going on? What?"
And that's how you do a trailer with no dialogue, because the first trailer had no dialogue, but I was
No, it didn't, did it?
no, and I was like, what is this?
I don't understand.
Yeah,
But I still want to watch it.
it's not like the Star Trek one where it's a little bit of dialogue and no explanation for anything that occurs after. Anyway, but yeah.
Going back to that, yeah.
Neon Demon. It's an 18. It stars Abbey Lee, Keanu Reeves, Christina Hendrix, Bella Heathcote, and Elle Fanning. She's the younger of the
Dakota Fanning.
the Fanning Gate.
Basically, all of the
sisters.
Fannings that can act their asses off.
Yeah, yeah, it
Talent
looks
runs
that
strong
way.
in that family.
Yeah, I know. Jesus Christ. So yeah, this comes out next week on the 8th, I believe. Yes. And so yeah, look out for that. Okay, on to the Legend of Tarzan, and
Well done,
I
Sacha is in fact.
hope to God he doesn't do that. Because if
It's nowhere in the trailer, and I feel like if they were going to go down that route, it would come up in the trailer. I'm pretty sure they're not going to go down that.
I really hope they don't. I'm probably not going to watch this film, but
I really want to watch it.
I know why you want to watch it.
No, do you know what it is? And it's not even because I don't really like blondes, so we're going to start
Really?
there. Yeah, no, not a fan. Oscar Isaac, yay! Alexander Skarsgård, I can see why other people find him attractive. Not a massive fan.
Wow, okay. That's a first.
Like dark curly hair, it's inherent. But no, but I had a friend who went to see an early screening of it, and she said it was amazing. Totally. And it's got amazing actors in it. I mean, Margot Robbie and
Samuel L.
Samuel L. Jackson, Christopher Waltz.
Skarsgård, yeah, Christopher Waltz, yeah.
It's got some pretty damn good actors in it, and from what I can see of the last few trailers, it's a different take on kind of the original films they did of it. It's not as cheesy and everything else like that. It's more a case of why.
Did you ever see Greystoke?
No.
Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, that's the only version of Tarzan that I think is logical. I say logical, but
I like the Disney one.
I'm talking about live action. Christopher Lambert. Even though Christopher Lambert can be cheesy sometimes, he can pull some emotion out sometimes, and I think he played that role really well in Greystoke. Especially, there's certain events that happen in it where he kind of goes nuts and goes back to the jungle, and I can't get that version out.
But see, this is why I kind of like Alexander Skarsgård for this role, simply because he's got that sort of face, and he is that sort of actor that he can look very sweet and very charming and very much the kind of Disney romantic prince that you want, and then in a second he can look really. Have you ever seen Straw Dogs?
Yeah.
He's horrible in that film. He's absolutely horrible. So like he can switch between those two, from looking like the wonderful Prince Charming to fucking scary. And I think this is what Tarzan would be, is the cross between the romantic every man that every woman wants and the wild guy that is not necessarily a killer at heart, but surviving and doing what he needs to do. And it's that switch where I think him as an actor, I think, is the perfect part for this character.
Yeah, he does definitely look the part, and
Margot Robbie as well as Jane is.
Yeah.
Again, she looks very sweet and very much kind of the heroine that you'd want to save, but at the same time she's got a brain, she's got a bit of a mouth on her, and you could kind of imagine her kind of talking back and just being like, no.
Yeah.
This is not the way that she's not just going to be the damsel in distress.
Just going to sit back and take it.
Yeah. No, I've liked the trailer so far. It's interesting. David Yates can do no wrong. He did the last couple of Harry Potters. He's also doing the spin-off that comes later on this year. So he's
Fantastic Beasts and Winter.
There we go. So he's been quite busy, really, because 2 big films in the same year. But yeah, I don't know. I was interested, but then I read some of the reviews. They haven't been that kind. No. So that kind of put me off a little bit, because it was like one of those, if general word of mouth was like, yeah, go see this, then I was totally going to be up for seeing it.
Saying that, I saw, oh god, what was that Tom Hardy novel? It's a really famous Tom Hardy novel. It's going to bug me. And that had Carey Mulligan in it. They made it into a film with Charlie Sheen, Carey Mulligan.
Blue Velvet?
His name I can't remember pronounce. No, it's from maybe last year or something.
Oh, okay.
Not Charlie Sheen, no. Brain has died. Horribly.
Martin Sheen?
Martin. No, it was a Tom Hardy book, anyway. Which I will remember the name of a little bit later. But that had not brilliant reviews at all. But I thought it was one of the best films I saw all year. Which is great because I can't remember the name. So I am fabulous advertisement for this film. But yeah, I thought it was one of the best ones ever, and it did not get good reviews other than having good landscape shots. It didn't really get much more than that, but I thought it was amazing.
Well, yeah, reviews these days. There's so many people reviewing films, and so many people that have so many different varied opinions on what they think the film should have been.
It's personal taste at the end of the day. Review, because art is not right or wrong. It is personal taste. The same as us. I mean, we can sit here and go. I mean, you would say, "Oh, I love this film."
Oh yeah,
and I hate it, and you love it, and it is personal taste. There is no right or wrong. So you can get a million people who say they hate a film, and you can watch it and love it.
Bit like the Star Trek trailer, eh?
Well, that's the trailer.
Exactly.
That's the trailer. I'm sure the film will be entertaining.
Yeah.
It's just the trailer didn't sell me the film.
Yeah.
But then now they have the added thing with the actor that died, so shitloads of people.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of his last roles. Well, probably, I think it is his last role. Wow. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Well.
Just to bring the mood down.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's dead people.
Well, The Legend of Tarzan. It's in 3D. I wouldn't advise you to watch anything in 3D, but do it if you need to. And it's a 12A. I believe you can also.
Alexander Skarsgard in 3D.
Well, there you go.
As
there's
much
your
as I
selling
don't
point.
even really find that attractive, that seems like a good idea.
Doesn't like him, but she's selling him anyway.
For people who like blondes.
Yeah. So yeah, that comes out on the 6th, I believe. I could be wrong about that, but it definitely comes out next week. And now to a film I really don't want to see. Now You See Me Too.
I'm in that film. Why don't you want to see it?
I didn't know you were in that film.
And again, I'm an extra in that film. I'm probably not actually in that film. I don't know if you'd actually.
No, but that's you need to plug it now, man. This is your.
This is not acting work though. This is like part time. I'm an extra in the side of something. But
you're still in it.
My one claim to fame with it. Well, my one claim to it. My one exciting part of this day was I don't even know what scene I was doing. It was some kind of late night out in the rain. It was supposed to be like New Year's Eve or something. So I'm wandering up and down this street in the middle of London somewhere, and there was like a big tunnel through somewhere, and then the director was at one end with a couple of the big actors, and then they had all of the extras and a couple of the actors at the other end. The couple of actors that were at my end, Lizzy Caplan and Woody Harrelson. I was in Mel Heaven.
Wow.
I love Lizzy Caplan. She was like one of my favourite actresses.
Yeah, she was in what's that thing with the big monster, and she's in that TV show.
Oh, that's J.J. Abrams as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god, why can't I remember this? This is
Cloverfield.
what happens when Mel has too much wine. Yeah, Cloverfield. There we go. Yeah, so I love her, and she was asking me about my lipstick, which I'm really excited about. I was like, I made friends with Lizzy Caplan.
Yeah, I like her. She's
yeah,
really
and then I have my
good
favourite
actress.
story of all time that comes from Woody Harrelson, who decided kind of halfway through the shoot, like in the middle of the night when everyone was really tired, that he could in fact control the director from halfway up a tunnel. The director being John M. Chou, the guy who did Step Up 2 or whatever it was. So we were in this like big corridor, Woody Harrelson and Lizzy Caplan at one end, and I think James Franco, not James Franco, his brother, Dave Franco was at the other end with somebody
The
else.
intern.
Yes. And then the director was at the other end, and Woody Harrelson was still at our end. He was obviously like, he was tired, and they were all cold and gone. And he was like, oh, I think I can. We were all waiting around for this shot to start, and he was like, I can definitely control him. I can control him from here. He's never gonna. So like one of the assistants had a walkie-talkie. Woody Harrelson was nowhere near it, and he was like, right, I'm gonna make him start this scene right now because we've all been waiting around for too long. Mm-hmm. And he looks down the tunnel and goes, John, start. And then you hear John M. Chou on the walkie-talkie going, we're going to start the scene now. Everybody ready? And action. He was like, yes, I control everything.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And this is why I love Woody Harrelson.
I'd love to meet that guy. He just sounds like...
He's a nutter.
Yeah,
I love him a little bit.
He sounds cool.
I feel like him and Lizzy Caplan would be my favourite people to hang out with out of that whole film.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of want to watch it just for those two because I've got a little bit of a fangirl thing going with them. So.
Well, now that you've said you're in the film, I have more incentive to watch it.
You probably won't actually see me because I'm in the extra in the back of the. It's not like an acting part, but still I've got to meet Lizzy Caplan. So
That's a cool standee.
Oh yeah, I guess.
That's a cool standee.
Anything to add to this?
If you walk from one side of the room to the other side of the room, it's got that like effect where it's
No,
got like a
I
cube
mean-
at the front and it looks like it's following you.
Right.
Yeah, like one of those paintings.
That's
with
not
the
what I
eyes.
meant, but
I was talking about the standing. No, yeah, I liked the first one, but I didn't think it was like, oh my god, I need to see a sequel.
I'm a big fan of magic though as well.
Yeah.
So I get excited about these things anyway. So
Yeah.
I see magic tricks.
I'll probably catch it if someone like wants to see it and is like, Sash, let's go see it. Then I'll go see it. But...
Sash, let's go see it, man.
boom.
Alright, cool, let's go. Let's go.
We're
When?
going.
Well, that has the evil Jesse Eisenberg, Mark Ruffalo, Woody Harrelson, Dave Franco, Lizzy Caplan.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah,
It
Daniel
does. Trust me,
Radcliffe.
it's got Daniel Radcliffe in
does.
it.
Okay,
He's
Daniel
a-
Radcliffe and
The
Morgan
original
Freeman.
magician.
And Morgan Freeman. And Michael Caine.
Do you know someone asked if Daniel Radcliffe taught the rest of them any magic?
Oh,
and he
Jesus
was
Christ.
like, guys, you know that Harry Potter wasn't real. Right? Like, I'm not actually a magician.
Oh,
What
no,
good
man.
are you then?
What the fuck were you on this?
Oh dear, oh dear.
Anywho.
Okay, so Now You See Me 2 is a 12A. It comes out this week.
Watch it, it may or may not have me in it.
And so, on to film 20 questions. And first time for Mel on this one.
Yeah, I've never played this one.
Yes, and so.
No, we didn't get time to play because I talked too much in the last one.
Let's go.
Okay, so if you want to, so film 20 questions. If you want to write in to us at podcast@zedosgang.co.uk with a film chip with a film name, so we have something to guess. I'm going to play a competition with this in the next few weeks. So you can win a Blu-ray, and so I'm not sure what the Blu-ray will be, but
Ex Machina.
yes, there you go. It'll be something,
For no real reason.
and something a little bit newer. As
Damn it!
a new release. But yeah, just,
Star Wars.
That's not exactly.
I'm working on a theme.
Well, anyway, let's get back to it. I'm going to guess the film. Well, I'm not going to guess the film. You're going to guess the film. I'm going to write.
You
the
need to
film
have
down.
a film.
Yes, I do need to have a film. And I'm looking around the room trying to figure out what I can link something to.
If you're looking around the room, I'm just going to pick whatever you have in the room and link it to that.
Okay, alright, good. Oh no, that's even better. Nice. Nah. Alright, okay. How are you with film trivia?
Not bad.
Okay.
Is it going to be a really obscure film?
No,
Okay.
the rule is that we can't do it. We've got to do something that is known in the public domain.
Okay, well, I know a lot of random facts about things that don't really matter, so I'm pretty good as far as trivia goes.
Okay, fair enough.
Like, I know a group of wildebeest is an improbability of wildebeest.
Interesting.
I'm not even kidding.
Alright, okay.
You can also get a flamboyance of flamingos.
Yes, I know that one.
Yeah, see?
I know that one.
These are the kind of random facts that I know. So trivia, I'm big on.
Okay.
Things that
okay.
make no difference to anybody's life whatsoever, but it's quite funny.
Alright, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, off you go.
Why does everyone look at me? Oh, my first?
You can be if you
Okay,
want
you
to. I just would
okay,
like you to
okay.
participate.
So we just have to ask yes or no questions.
You have to ask the questions, and
We only get 20.
yes, only get 20.
Sad, man.
So, shall I go first?
Yeah,
or
you
you
go
go first?
first.
I'll go first. Okay, has this film been about in the past 35 years?
Yes.
Is it 35 years? Okay.
Is the lead character in this film male?
Yes.
That does not narrow it down.
Is the director famous?
Yes.
Like, is he quite a big problem?
Yes.
Has it been released in the last 10 years?
No.
Is it an 80s film?
No.
90s.
Yes.
Okay. male actor still as big as he is now than when he was
Yeah, he's more flamboyant as well.
more flamboyant.
That's the only clue you're going to get from me.
Oh god. That's throwing me off now. Ruined, Joseph, ruined. He's more flamboyant now than he was then.
Well, he's more of a... He's what Sean Connery is to Sean Connery. In the fact that...
So he's more him than him.
He's... If... how can I put this? So, like...
So Liam Neeson.
No. But it's in that vein. The actor's in that vein. I'm gonna give you that one. You've used 7 questions so far.
Is it an action film?
Action thriller.
That's half the films in the 90s, okay.
It's not really helped, does it?
Yeah.
Would you like another clue?
I feel like you're giving us too many clues. Like we need to.
I don't think you're gonna...
We're not narrowing it down enough.
Yeah, you are narrowing it down. Okay,
You
continue.
just don't have any trust in us, Joe. Why do you not believe in us?
I do believe
What's wrong
in
with you?
I do believe in
You're
you.
a terrible person.
No, I'm not. Carry on.
Yeah, true. What's your question?
What question? Yeah.
Okay, let me give you a hand. There are 2 main actors in this, famous actors.
2,
Mhm.
like dual roles, like equal.
Yeah.
Have they been in a film before this together?
No.
Is the other actor just as big as this other actor?
Yes.
Does the director have an attachment to doves?
No.
Damn it, it's not face off.
Oh no.
There was a chance. I was like, okay, 2 male actors, one's more flamboyant. Well, Cage has gotten quite...
Yeah, John Travolta isn't as famous
Yeah.
as he was then,
Yeah.
so that doesn't really work. Oh my god.
Is it a buddy movie?
No, definitely not a buddy movie.
Do they hate each other?
They're on different sides of the...
Is it Heat?
Yes! Oh my gosh!
Yes!
You know what? She said it just as I thought it.
Incidentally,
Oh my
they were
gosh.
in a film together before that.
Well, before Heat, they
Yeah,
weren't.
yes,
Yeah,
they
The
were.
Godfather Part 2.
Godfather Part 2.
God damn, you're right.
But
So
he
you
was,
lied to me. And you
But
actually
he was
wasn't.
actually the first time they were together in the same.
Yeah,
Oh,
movie.
yeah,
yeah.
That's what I was thinking
Actually
of.
in the same scene, yeah.
I can't believe I forgot about The Godfather. Damn. Sorry, guys, but yeah, you got it. You got good one, Mel. Yeah, so you got that in.
Told you I knew trivia.
You got that in 12 questions. Fantastic.
Do I win a prize?
You win instant gratification.
And that's all I really want in life.
Well, okay, well that's the end of the show, guys.
That's good because my wine bottle isn't empty.
Thank you to our special guest, Mel Crossey.
Special.
Where can we find you? Have you got anything to plug?
Yeah, there is a short film coming out soon, which you can keep an eye on my Twitter at Melanie Crossey.
I'll put that in the description. So
yeah, okay,
people
cool.
find it.
So yeah, I'm doing a short film. Already filmed it, comedy film, called The Fly in the Room. Yeah, and it's sort of very, very, very ridiculous. Also with my flatmate Lydia Kay. So that should be a fun one to come out soon.
Acting
Yeah,
hour?
look at there's acting hour. Acting hour is always. I love that you remind me of acting hour. I've been doing this so many times. So for anybody within the film industry, we have me and my flatmate Lydia have a company called Acting Hour. which is essentially a way of networking for free. So every Wednesday between 1 and 2 on Twitter and Facebook, you can write whatever you're doing, jobs that you're looking for, work that you're currently filming, anything that you need, any questions that you have with the hashtag Acting Hour, and it just kind of puts everything else together, so it's all in one group and it's very, very easy to find, which has always been our major problem, is actually networking with people and finding out what is going on, especially in the indie film industry. There's not a lot of ways to find out exactly what's going on within that. Hollywood massive films you can find out about, the rest of them you can't. So that was the frustration, which then moved into this. We also do networking nights every month. We've just had one a couple of weeks ago that Joe was not at, because apparently he's too busy for us. But no, we forgive you. We get a nice mix of people. It's not just for actors, it is for anyone within the industry, directors, dancers, cameras guys, makeup artists, anything. So that's a good thing. And then also look out if me and Lydia actually decide to do a live reenaction of Charlie the Unicorn, because that would be hilarious. You will see a theme here. Every time me and Lydia get together, we do something ridiculous. But it usually works out well, so keep an eye out for that.
Fantastic.
And Joe's thing, whenever he next puts me in something, Joe.
Yes, I'm working on it, man.
I played a psychopathic spy in the last one, so we're hoping for good characters.
This whole endeavour is to generate money. There's other things besides this I'm doing to generate money. It's happening very slowly, but it's happening. So Sach, you're on Twitter and Facebook as well. Did you want to say what it is, or?
Everyone can find me Sacha Allari on Twitter. Also check out for my new short film The Little Guy Returns that I've just released up on YouTube this week. If you find it, pimp it out. Support the next one as we're doing a third part. Hopefully they'll be filmed at the end of this month. And yeah, that's about it on my end.
Okay, and you can find me at Joseph Buchanan on Twitter, or you can
I love that none of you know your actual Twitter names, because you are Satchman3.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so not actually you, Sacha Allari. And you are Joseph Q. Buchanan.
Yes,
so
that's right.
Ignore everything that they said. They don't know how Twitter works.
Well, you can find me on Twitter.
That is actually true, I don't.
You can find me on Twitter anyway. If you can find me on, you can find the podcast on at Zedos Gang. And so yeah, just put that into the search bar on Twitter and you'll find it. You can also find me on Facebook as well at Joseph Quayson Buchanan. So good luck with that. Okay,
if
so
you don't, just make up his middle name. It's hilarious. There's lots of things that begin with Q.
However,
Queenie, Joseph Queenie Buchanan.
Oh, fantastic. Well, on that note, thank you, listeners, for listening, and again, please do write in at podcast@zedosgang.co.uk, and we shall see you next week. Okay, guys, this has been the Zedos Gang podcast, and we're out.